Two in the top, two in the bottom, one in the and let's go.
My day is ruined.
Crucify him!
This white man's having a good time. Get him!
If you think that was performative masculinity, tell me that when I'm wearing fruit boots.
Oh, God.
What did I get myself into?
Say hi to Eli. He's racially ambiguous. And Brandon, his hair is fucking fabulous. And Donut, a dark joke disposition. And there's a fat electrician. Welcome to Unsubscribe.
Now this is where I have a gap in my knowledge. What did you do with Rudy? What show did you do with Rudy?
Yeah, so Rudy.
Well, before we do that, let's go ahead.
Ready? Cool. There we go.
Oh, am I supposed to crack something?
Yeah,
Ooh.
grab again, quick. 3, 2, 1. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Unsubscribed podcast. I'm joined today by Eli Doubletap, Mr. Ronnie Adkins, future Congressman Brandon Herrera, and myself, Donut Operator.
Hi, Donut. I missed you. You look fantastic.
Did you get a new haircut? Yeah, shaved the beard, got a new haircut.
What'd you do your hair
100
with?
pounds of muscle. You don't want to know. It's too early in the episode on YouTube for me to say what I put in my hair. If you've seen, what's that movie? Harry Met Sally?
No. Something about Mary.
Something about Mary. Yeah, that was that. The secret ingredient. It takes me about 4 minutes to get my hair product ready.
Wow, long
way to
time.
brag. It depends what video I'm watching.
I have infinite hair product.
Infinite money glitch.
I know. It's like, uh-oh.
After the fourth application, it starts running a little low. You know, but
Real quick. What's up, you bitches? This is after Christmas, right before New Year's, I believe.
probably. I don't know.
Think
Probably.
so. Hi. Did you make any New Year's resolutions? Stick to them. I'll go to the gym like 2 weeks and then give up. Fucking love you. Love you.
I'm gonna love you.
I'm still pretty sure you can go to jail for what that
forced
suggested
love.
was. Yeah.
What is up? Welcome to the podcast, buddy.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks.
And we got King Trout too.
Oh, dude.
Well, Donut.
Yeah,
I was actually surprised
Who's
when I
King
walked
Trout?
in here. You weren't like passed out on the couch over there or something.
Well,
to be honest,
we all have our proclivities.
I just know the audience right there was like, "Oh my God, that is King Trout, not Donut." We should have swapped
haven't seen him in
Brandon and
months.
see how long it took. You just beep.
yep.
Brandon's
not here for this episode.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone.
The amount of times, dude, it happened several times in the live show meet and greets.
Yeah.
There was one of the guy, I'm not going to shout him out because I don't know if he wants his name attached to this, but came up and started talking. He's like, you really helped out a buddy of mine. You covered his case in a video, whatnot. I'm visibly confused. And I realized, like, do you think I'm Cody? And he just goes, fuck.
Dude, the embarrassment on his face too. He's like, I'm so, oh my God, I am so sorry. His buddy's laughing at him. And then another guy came up and introduced himself wrong. All right.
Introduced himself wrong?
He was God bless his soul. He was very nervous. But he was like, hi,
I get it.
Donut. And we're like, what's your name? He's like, oh, you're having a great time. Like, he just like forced reset. He's like,
My name is Jeff.
My name is Jed.
The funny part is we're all just f***ing around. We're hanging out. We're having a good time and like just making jokes. So like we'll just barrel into that and make them feel more nervous. Like not in a mean way, but just like, you're really fucking this up, buddy. Like let's keep moving
This is
it
your
along.
one chance. You're going to remember this for the rest of your life, and I'm going to forget about it in 30 seconds.
You know that thing you think about when you're trying to fall asleep and you can't?
In
You know,
third grade.
just wake up. This is going to be it.
we're thinking about it.
It just reminded me of that time. It was a range day like 2 years ago, and I was staying at your house because I still lived in Indiana at the time, and we were just so peopled out because you guys know how it is. It's like constantly talking to people all day long or whatever. And we stopped at a gas station, and you were like, I'm just so fucking tired. I just want to go to bed, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, when we stop at this gas station, we're going to get out of the car, and somebody's going to be like, Brandon Herrera? And he's like, please don't put that on me. Gets out, that exact same thing happened. And then I was standing by the gas pump. I went in and got a pack of cigarettes and came back out, and a guy comes up and he goes, Bass. And I'm like, what? And he goes, Bass. Bass guy. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I literally did not put two and two together. And he was so do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I have a vague recollection of this.
He's like, Bass Guy, you're Bass Guy on Facebook. And I'm like, I don't have a Facebook account. Like, what? And I was like, oh, no. Like, yeah, I do have a fish-themed name, and I'm on the internet. But I was like, he just pointed at me, and he's like, Bass. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Fishman.
Fishman.
I love it. At least he tried.
Yeah. He's in the neighborhood.
It's like, oh.
There's the amount of times that's happened. There was one, I feel kind of bad about it, but I was in kind of like a shitty mood. I don't remember what was going on, but I was at a bar somewhere, like a restaurant bar kind of thing. And somebody is shouting from across the bar, "Donut!" And I'm like, I know what he means. I'm not responding to that.
It's draining. Peopled out is a good word. I think it happens really quickly, and unless you've experienced it, you will have no idea how draining it is at times. You're like,
yeah, because nobody in our audience is introverted.
Yeah.
now times that by like 100.
500,000. Oh, I consider myself like a pretty like outgoing, like sociable person, but like when you're doing that nonstop for days at a time, it's like you reach a point where you're like, oh, okay, I think I just want to lay down on the couch and look at my phone for an hour. Like,
No, I tell people that all the time. If there are hundreds of people in a room with me, I'm in the back corner with a beer in my hand or something. Yeah, being on camera is my opportunity to be social.
It's like being the wallflower at the high school dance, except in this scenario, it feels much better.
So awesome.
I just want to pet the dog at the party.
Yeah.
Can I pet that dog?
Yeah, so we just wrapped up the last of the live shows. Thank God we got two. We got both of you have stories now. You started your YouTube and like crushing it, and now you're on Pepperbox. And then you have what, TV show, YouTube, and then
a Pepperbox channel that we launched this year as well. Yeah.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
dude!
It's been a lot of fun. You guys have been awesome. I've known the crew here for quite a few years at this point through the work at Funker 530, and most people that have been on YouTube for a while know what Funker 530 is. But I joined the team a little bit late. But having the chance to come down here, you guys threw a wrench at me right out of the gate. I'm a big self-improvement kind of guy, so little battles every day. This morning, I had the battle of you assholes running your toilet paper in mullet mode versus beard mode. Holy f***. What kind of heresy has their toilet paper in mullet mode?
I literally just turned around the one roll upstairs. I took a shit like 20 minutes ago.
I tweeted it. I was like, what is
oh
that?
My God. I had to turn it around.
I left it because I left it. I'm not fixing that problem. That's not what I'm here to do. But I appreciate the daily battle, right? Something that I can overcome, and I made it through this morning's post-coffee event.
I just think of all the problems our ancestors battled 500 years ago. It's like, my day is ruined. The toilet paper was facing the wrong direction in an air-conditioned home.
I am the offspring of those men, and I know they would have complained about it. We're a very bitter, petty people.
Give me my poop rope.
I actually,
why is the poop rope?
I did spend
this
an
low?
inordinate amount of time staring at it. Like, why the fuck would you do that? Because then it rolls underneath, and you can't quite.
Yeah, like bunches up, and then it flips over, and you gotta finger it to try and grab the next piece.
I'm thinking of you just staring at it with the slow pan of the camera getting closer, the tinnitus noise getting louder.
I like the idea of just holding, like having a poop rope, like old 1600s, and just confusing the shit out of people. Like, wait, do I?
I was
use
reading
that?
about the poop rope not too long ago.
He doesn't
Sears
even know
catalog.
how to use the three seashells.
Somebody did a diagram of like instructions for the 3 seashells, and I still don't think I understand it entirely, unless you just use one as a scoop.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
It's
you're
just, but what
scraping
about
it.
the other 2 seashells? What do you do with the other
splash? I'll be honest, I don't know how bidets work. You
Spray
just like
it, clean the bowl. It's like a power washer.
yeah, but like
Butthole.
what? Are you going like hands in with soap and shit, or
No, you just do the. And
No,
it
it
goes.
just sprays your asshole.
how do you know it's clean?
You wipe afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You just, dude, it just makes the wiping easier because you just. It's like if you go out and clean your truck or your vehicle right now and there's dirt on it. If you go like that, it's just moving dirt around. You spray it first and then.
See, I get it.
I don't know,
I get
I
it
don't know what your
conceptually,
wiping
but
technique is. But I'm not smearing. Well, I just take a shower immediately afterwards. Every shit. Immediate
couldn't.
hop in the shower.
I would be taking 8 showers a day.
Really awkward. We're on
you gotta
road
get that-
trips, and you
gotta
just
get
like
that checked,
take a
man.
shit, walk outside with the hose next to the gas station.
You ever take a shit so hard you feel it splash on your balls? It's an
Man, we
immediate
started
shower.
off weird.
I love it.
Well, welcome back, gentlemen.
I know. We're all exhausted. It's like, oh. We have had great travel experiences, but yeah, now we're here.
I mean, it really wasn't too bad this time.
I heard New Jersey was great. Y'all had fun.
I heard that got interesting.
Delayed, and then an hour and how long was the delay on the way home?
From Jersey? That one, I didn't think that one was too bad.
I
It was a
slept
direct
and
flight.
woke up. All of us did.
Was that
I
in-
had a coma.
Was that the one to Boston?
No, that was the one from Jersey to San Antonio. We got delayed, and then when we sat on the tarmac for about an hour and a half.
That's been happening a lot lately.
Yeah.
It's like these northern states are not prepared for the idea that it snows the same time it snows every year.
People are going to be like, "This is the same story they told last time." It's like, no, this is brand new. This is a
Keeps
brand new
happening.
story. It just sucks every time. We're like, oh,
Everybody's like, "Oh, South Texas doesn't know how to handle snow." It's like, yeah, we never get it. You guys get it like half the year.
Yeah.
How is this a surprise?
and yeah, we had a great time in New Jersey. Well, we're going to hold that one so then we can all talk about it together because we all had completely different experiences for.
Yeah.
Well, the venue learned a very valuable lesson. Don't be dicks.
And it was wild the entire time as the things that were occurring. Me and you were just reading our texts on stage, like still like doing the show and everything, but just like seeing the notifications pop up where it's like, what's going on backstage?
Yeah, and then hey, we're having to watch this person. It's like, what the fuck is going on? This is not what I want to be focused on while doing the live show.
Having show basically say, or show and Sav say like, yeah, you know how we normally like hang out in the green room and chill afterward and like everybody has a good time? Not here. Let's go to the hotel immediately. All of our shit's already packed up. We're leaving.
Jesus.
We were just out instantly. It's just it sucks. That's how we ended it. But the audience was amazing. They were loud.
Yes.
The audience was loud.
So thank you to the audience in New Jersey. F you, Wellmont.
I mean, as simple as that. God,
I only have sparing details, but it was a little bit infuriating. I have a couple of the behind the scenes details. I can't wait for you guys to talk about that as a crew.
But instead,
Seriously.
we would love to talk about you as our guest.
Well, that's going to be a super boring show.
I mean,
but
for-
otherwise,
Starting out, I mean, what's Funker 530?
well, Funker 530 is actually something that I'm very excited to talk about and finally get a chance to really help explain what its original design was versus what its perception was over time, and then what it is that we're hoping that it turns into in the future. Right? That's what I mean by it being boring. Me personally, dude, I don't do anything. I sit in my basement and I research ballistics. That's long range shooting is what I've always wanted to do. I've been competing in marksmanship since I was in high school. But Funker 530, that's where we start getting into my career path and what its intent was. So not a lot of people know this, but Scott, the founder of Funker 530, first of all, Canadian infantryman. He was a machine gunner, spent time in Afghanistan. He wanted to share footage of his deployment with his family. So he created this YouTube channel and was like, hey, family, here's what a patrol looks like in Afghanistan. This is what it looks like for us to have to return fire. This is what it looks like, and it's one of the most viewed videos we have. This is what it looks like for me to play dirt bikes in the sand because we're bored. In the early days of YouTube, clickbait was a big deal. So that the title for that, if I recall correctly, was like, Afghan Taliban ambushes Canadian infantry, but it's just Scott playing with his fucking dirt bikes in the sand. Anyway, that's what it began with, and that was like 2007, 2008. That's the early days
Like OG
of
YouTube.
YouTube. One of the first channels to achieve 1 million followers. Right, so there
Really?
one of the first. I don't know where exactly that falls, but it just blew up, and that's when conceptually Funker 530 became a thing, right?
That was like late enough. Well, I guess it was just early enough that there was like no money involved. Back
Yeah,
then.
well,
Like, it was not a thing you could.
It was established prior to the YouTube Partner Program.
Yeah.
So the YouTube Partner Program came after Funker 530 was deployed, right? But what it kind of drew attention to is just how much people wanted to better understand things in their raw format rather than be reliant upon the media, right? I don't think I need to beat that dead horse too many times. Media and its agendas that come along with it. So over the course of time, the YouTube channel grew to include submissions from the community. So there's a lot of footage that was exclusively provided by people that were actively engaged with an adversary, saying, "I want people to see what it's like." And we have people ripping that stuff all the time, but it was exclusively provided, to us to try and be a little bit of a loudspeaker for that story. And then we ended up starting another channel. So this is all actually before I got there. But the team that still exists, all the same team, ownership has never changed, same group of dudes. They started another channel on the Syrian civil war, right? And all of that is that is mud to try and wade through the amount of different factions and organizations and how they change allegiances like day to day, dependent upon, I don't know, whose goat has who is owned by who.
Wasn't there a point in time when the U.S. was supporting like two opposing factions?
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. At one point in
Which time in history?
one of our programs was supporting one group of factions, another one of our programs was supporting another. So it was that meme where it's like my tax dollars, somehow also my tax dollars.
And in between raking in all the big bucks was Toyota. Today we're talking about Blue Chew.
Oh, man.
Blue Chew is coming at you with a brand new innovation called Blue Chew Gold.
This ain't your grandpa's little blue pill.
Why do you know what pills your grandpa takes?
I steal his pills.
This is the 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance.
Connor, what are you doing?
We're talking 2 ingredients for blood flow that keep that rocket pumping.
Mixed with apomorphine and oxytocin, turn up that arousal and connection with your brain and body.
My mom was addicted to that.
No, Eli, it's oxytocin, not Oxycontin.
She was addicted to that too. Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue and works in as little as 15 minutes.
This is peak passion and peak performance in a single tablet.
We all went on a family vacation together in South Carolina.
Legitimately, you don't even have to have problems with ED or anything like that. It's a vasodilator. So if you think you're good now, you will be better after this.
Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners.
Get 10% off your first month on Blue Chew Gold with code UNSUB.
That's code UNSUB at BlueChew.com.
Visit BlueChew.com for more details and safety information, and we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
Thank you so much, Blue Chew. Thank you. I gotta run.
Connor is rigging that mortise.
Toyota-thon looks sick in the Middle East. Let me just put it that way. I just bought my wife a Toyota Sienna, and that's the coolest fucking van I've ever seen in my life. It's
Low bar.
It's sick. I don't care. I grew up with one of those like silhouette-looking rocket ship vans.
Chrysler Town and Country?
Yeah, no. It was. I don't even know if the brand is around anymore, but it looked a lot like a rocket ship. And it broke down like in the middle of the highway, trying to cross the highway. And one of my earliest memories is my dad trying to get it back into gear, and my mom like screaming because there's cars coming. That's the piece of shit.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know
but
which
I
one it
cannot
is,
think of,
right?
Yeah. Was it a Mercury?
I don't know.
This is so.
I don't know, it was white, but so it looked exactly like a rocket. We called it the rocket ship. I was getting. My mom had to take me to the police station one time, not to derail from Funker 530. But
I was going to say I derailed there.
Yeah,
I apologize.
well, so I'll never forget that van because I played lacrosse in high school, and a buddy of mine lived close to the local dump. I am not proud of this story. Let me just be clear. Like there is a progression of trying to be better every day, and we're still working on it. He lived close to the local dump, and one day my mom had dropped me off over there, and he said, "Do you want to go drive bulldozers?" I was like, yeah, dude, absolutely. I was like 14.
So anyway,
Yes.
there I was at Mr. Heemeyer's house.
So we go over there. Anyway, we end up finding a big, what's the one with the big arm? An excavator. It was a Komatsu, and I'll never forget that.
Mr. Heemeyer's house.
D3.
And it had the key in it. So we drove that son of a bitch all around the dump, and we crashed it. Let me put it that way. Well, my mom drove up in the rocket ship, to lacrosse practice. I was a freshman in high school, might have been a sophomore, and she was like, "Did you drive a bulldozer?" And I'll never forget. I was like, "Yep." And I sat all the way back because she couldn't reach me back there. Well, eventually that other guy was getting hemmed up for stealing a cop car, a laptop out of it, and a gun, and then using the gun to shoot the laptop. So somehow they were actually trying to connect me to that, and I got there and I was like, let me be clear, I drove the big piece of machinery.
I only stole the
big
backhoe, which is objectively the most expensive thing in that story. But I'm just saying. Anyway, so yes, I bought my wife this Toyota Sienna, and where did we end up on the Toyota Sienna? Afghanistan, Syrian Civil War.
Syrian War. So we had stood up, Funker 530 had stood up this channel for the Syrian Civil War, and we were starting to archive footage there. Archive is an important word. We were archiving it there, trying to help people understand just the absolute goat rope, as much of that pun is intended as you want to take it, that is these factions in the Middle East that are fighting against each other, sometimes alongside each other. We actually just had a pretty big incident with 2 soldiers killed in Syria, right? Because of these weird factional loyalties. Where
it's all like really like localized tribal shit.
Culturally speaking, it's difficult to wrap your mind around, but something I talk about a lot is, where you stand is subject to where you sit, right? So anyway, we had stood this channel up, and then YouTube just deleted it one day. Like 3 strikes, boop, 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 gone. And we were like, oh shit, we need to have a way to archive this war footage off of social media. And from a perception perspective, with that being reality, from the outside looking in, it's like, oh, you're just putting up like war footage. Well, we sent Hemingway and Hollywood directors to World War II, right? So we sent them in there to try and bring back some semblance of understanding, primarily only because we needed to sell war bonds, though. Yeah. So the stuff that they brought back was like, rah, rah, go get them, boys. But what happened to all of this stuff in between that? Right? So that reality that is war, and I'm not necessarily an anti-war guy. Sometimes that it is necessary to shoot somebody in the face, organizationally, that sometimes you have to do that. But if we can better understand it and make decisions around it from an informed position, that is the design of Funker 530. So everybody that is a member of our writing staff is a veteran. Right. 2 of them are Purple Heart recipients. So you got Will and you got Josh. Josh Brooks is a published author. Hell of a dude. Absolute giant of a human being. And I hate taking photos next to him because I am not a short man. I am 5'10". Josh is a giant. So if we can stop using that as a comparative, kind of thing, I'd appreciate it.
5'10's above average height. Just throwing that out there.
So you got Josh, machine gunner, 0331. You got Will. He goes by Will Kilmore, which is a sick fucking name to go by. But he was a mortarman, an 11 Charlie. Saw some of the worst areas of Afghanistan, and it described to me what it looks like when a human being is shot with a 50 cal, and he said it turns them into spaghetti. And I can't get that out of my head now. That's in my head movies to see spaghetti. Anyway. Then we've got a space cop. So he's an Air Force guy, but he's also a federal law enforcement officer for an agency that deals with space. I don't know whether I was even supposed to say that or not, but that's what he does. He covers a lot of our law enforcement footage.
Some force that deals with space.
Thankfully,
there's actually
at
least 2. Yeah. There's at least 2. So we got the Space Force.
So
now.
the other one. Man, I would hate to be the person responsible for making sure you say nothing in an interrogation.
Not going to go well. I'm an intel guy. I am not some CRC graduate. Let me put it that way. And then we've got...
They just need to give you a coffee.
You guys...
This guy, 6 ounces of Elijah Craig, he starts spilling the fucking beans.
Have you guys ever seen the photo of the Marine with a PPSH clearing the stairwell?
Yes, actually.
It's one of the most iconic photos from like early GWOT. What about the Marine dropping
the grenade? Yep. Vibe check.
Yep.
One of our writers, both of those Marines are his Marines.
No shit.
No, yeah.
Were these like photo op kind of things where they were around? Because the PPSH thing.
These are legit. So there was a reporter that was embedded with them. And the fun story I'll tell on the PPSH thing is they had just been instructed or excuse me, within 24 hours of the PPSH photo being taken, there was an embedded reporter. He was taking photos of them. They were instructed not to use the enemy's guns to clear houses. Well, the reporters had taken that photo prior, but then that got put out to the. So anyway, so Cam, Fallujah 2004 veteran, when it comes to like mechanized warfare and, you know, what it is you're actually looking at when you see what we're dealing with right now in like Ukraine, for example, or even a lot of this stuff coming out of Israel, with Israel driving through Gaza and how exactly mechanized warfare works. Dude, it's some of the best writing you've ever seen. Josh walking you through what near side ambush looks like, linear ambush, L-shaped ambush, you know, beaten zones with machine guns. The intent and structure behind Funker 530 is designed to archive this from a position of knowledge rather than for the purposes of it being just war.
We're going through a lot of really cool shit really quick.
Oh, bro.
The PPSH 41 picture, like going back to that, because I don't know, if you're like me, you've seen that 100 times. So that was completely unironic. They were just, the dude was using it.
The dude was quite literally clearing that stairwell with that PPSH.
So when I first thought about it, I'm like, this has to be a meme because like in the modern age of, you know, modern military equipment, you know, M4s, ACOGs, whatever, I'm like, there's no way I would use a PPSH. 72 rounds of 7.62 by 25
By 25,
at
right.
Mach fuck. Actually, come to think of it,
How much does it weigh?
It's not
heavy.
I don't think it's that heavy.
I mean, for modern standards, for a subgun, it's modern.
Clumsy.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It's always the hard part.
It's awkward to hold.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
give you
kinda
that.
similar to like a
so especially
Thompson.
with the drum. So if you have the drum on it, I've only ever shot I think 9mm versions of it, but that's the one. That's
Yep.
the one. Yeah. No, he's
Does he have any other guns on his back? Or
yeah. His
He's
M16
got
is
an
slung
M16
on his back.
on his leg.
So with a
Oh, yeah.
with a loaded drum, it is 12 pounds.
That's heavy. Yeah, I guess it is heavy.
That's
I work
that's
out
still
a lot,
lighter
so.
than the new SIG. Was it the last episode when we were just talking about the SIG? We just talked about that. I don't know when.
I don't know. It's one of my favorite topics. So if you want to dive into it,
Dude, that I was reading the stats. We were talking about it, and then the biggest thing that stood out to me, I was like, man, that sounds heavy as fuck. And then you read all the soldiers' complaints. This is heavy as fuck. I don't want to. It's 4 pounds heavier than your standard AR or M4 fully kitted.
It beats you up too.
the XM7 or the M7 now.
Right? 6.8? Or
Six
what round
spear,
is-
the 6 spear, 6.8 by 5.1.
277 Fury.
Yeah, 6.8 by 5.1 is like that NATO designation for it, but it's the 277 Fury.
I've been told that and I don't want to misquote this, but the new it's the M7A1, the new model of it.
The 13 or the chopped down version.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's far too heavy. So they're like, let's shorten the barrel and do a bunch of like. They took the weight off in the weirdest places.
That's, dude.
And I think they. Oh, and when they reweighed it, I was told. Pretty sure I can say this. When they reweighed it, they weighed it without the optic, and without magazine and everything else. They're like, look at how much. Oh my god, it's actually technically lighter than the M4 because they had the M4 with the optics and everything on it. And yeah, so they pushed it to high brass, saying that like, oh look, it's actually really light, and we fixed all the problems, which
they tricked the system with, I will tell you, the first thing you start doing overseas, stripping everything you can of weight. You're like,
I'm gonna lug this shit around all day.
50 cal we brought on one mission. You know why? Because heavy.
You guys humped a 50 cal?
One time. And we're like, dude,
Once.
these M14s.
I know you
And
told the story
M24s
about the AT4.
Oh, you're talking
where
about
it was
like a Barrett.
Immediately fire it so you don't have to carry around the fucking rocket anymore.
Exactly.
which is the
I
opposite.
imagined you guys humping like a mod deuce or something. You're talking about the Barrett. Okay.
M82.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Like,
you-
wow, you guys are gangsters. Fucking carrying that around.
But the AT4 story is funny because that's like the opposite of military doctrine. Like never initiate an ambush with either a rocket or an open bolt machine gun.
Correct. Because chunk. And now everyone, like, if you engage ambush with one of those, you start it with it. You kick it off. Open bolt can just fall forward, and then you just made the loudest like clonk, and it's like, because a lot of times people won't rack it enough, so
Yeah.
nothing's racked. So it's just a fucking huge metal click. Now the enemies turn, start shooting wherever the they heard that. Or AT4 is just, I mean, we missed. Like, flow fucking, whoop, and then it went up and hit the house behind it.
Dude.
Uh-oh, shoot.
This is
If anyone at the Hague is watching, it did not hit the house behind.
well, this has been very revealing for me. I had the chance to shoot a live AT4 once, and it was all the way back in basic. I was like that one kid that they let fire the live rocket because, I mentioned this earlier. I was a part of my high school's marksmanship team, so I shot expert. I actually wasn't the first choice because none of them liked me. Some chick shot expert, and she was supposed to be the first choice, and she didn't want to do it. So it had to defer to me by the rules. So the drill sergeant was like, "Don't fuck this up, dude. Like, you had better, we have one live round." I was like, "Bro, I'm going to nail this. This is fine." There's a difference between confidence and hubris, okay? So I had been nailing
Thin line.
I had been nailing the little 9mm like testers, just stroking them every time. And I look at the guy with the live round and I'm like, "Bro, if I aim center mass with this, is it going to hit?" And he was like, "Yep, not a problem." So I said, "Okay. Backblast area clear." And everybody screams, "Oh, clear." And I push the button. And for a split second, nothing happens. And it's not even a split second. It's a fraction of a second because there's a delay.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. So I'll never forget this. So as I'm sitting there and that delay's happening, and I go to look at him like this, like just that little bit.
Oh.
And that thing just comes out, pings off the top of that thing. And you can see it the whole way in. It pings off the top of the tank, and I don't know. It probably went into some fucking grandma's backyard or something.
Landed in the chicken coop.
I don't know where it went, but I need a redemption. So if somebody out there can give me a redemption on my one live AT4 round,
And if you got a second, I'd also like to shoot it. But no, I was at an undisclosed training ground at one point, and they had just fired AT4s there. I don't know how long ago, but they had done it at one point. And they had to shut off an entire area of forest because they had dudes shooting AT4s at targets all day, blowing shit up, and one dude just sailed one.
Oof.
They went, and everybody waited to hear the explosion.
Nothing. It's in another zip code at that point.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Not a damn thing.
It's gone.
I'd be like, fuck. Those are, as you said, it was, Sergeant Rain was big on, hey, it weighs less when you just have the tube. Ah, yes. Let's always just shed weight when we walk out to missions and we have to go back. This makes a lot of sense. We'd cut water. Like, everything we'd bring out on those OPs is like, get rid of. Make it as light as possible. Hope for an engagement. So you're like kicking rounds off, shooting, getting rid of everything, and then walking right back.
Also, Chase or Fenn, make sure that my hand gesture was off camera for that because I can't wait to see that screenshot all over.
Yeah, this one?
Yeah, that one. Make sure that was off too because I'm in frame for that.
Do you ever struggle with tiny toiletry bottles?
No.
Well, with Mando, struggle no more.
I would not want to spread whole body deodorant on you, Nick.
It's going to get all clumpy on my chest hair. But look like I've been rolling around in mashed potatoes.
How well does it lubricate?
It's developed by a doctor and it works for 72 hours. Show some respect.
I'm going to tell that to everyone at the Magic the Gathering tournament.
I wish I was there when they figured out that it wasn't good for 73 hours. I like to imagine just a fat guy on a treadmill for 72 hours straight. He's up, he's turned. Time to shower finally.
Fatty curdled.
Thanks to Mando.
It's also named after Mount Fuji.
Really? Mine's bourbon and leather because I'm a Mando.
Jesus Christ.
Couldn't even get through an ad without a pun.
What? Do you want to sell the deodorant or not, Brandon?
I'm just waiting for the sweet release of death.
It's not going to come for at least 72 hours.
Listen, we did a lot of meet and greets during the live tour. Y'all motherfuckers could use some Mando.
For a strong, independent woman, you can do everything a man can do. You can still use some Mando.
Arquette to Nick dead.
The cops are coming.
We've got 72 hours to hide the body before it starts to smell.
Actually does smell pretty damn good.
This one smells like the body wash smells actually really good.
I have bourbon leather.
Did anybody find the body? No, but that ditch over there smells delicious. There's no way there's a body over there.
You said we can ad-lib. Joke's on you. We're into that.
This isn't your average deodorant or antiperspirant.
You can try Mando's starter pack. It's perfect. It comes with absolutely everything. Stick deodorant, cream deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like a mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer, you'll get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code UNSUB.
That's code UNSUB over at shopmando.com. We need to go. Actually, we need to
It would not be the first time I've been called a Nazi in the last 3 weeks, and the last time was because I dry fired on my back porch. All right.
I actually wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about that because, man, that was the most innocuous video ever. You're just like, man, I'm loving life. I'm drinking bourbon. I'm grilling steaks. I'm
so
dry firing.
happy people that understand what I would. There are people that understand what I was posting on that.
That's what. Just before we started recording, I brought that up and I was like, no, we gotta wait till cameras are pointed at us, because the story I was gonna tell you was I woke up, it's like 7:30 in the morning, and I open my phone and I just go through like each app, I read the news or whatever, and then I open up X, and you know how it has the like trending or whatever. It says Ronnie Adkins receiving I can't remember what it said.
Backlash
Yeah,
or whatever.
receiving backlash over dry firing pistol. And I was like, oh God, what'd he do? And I watched the video. It's so fucking innocuous.
I remember watching or looking at it because I only saw it through quote tweets.
Oh, nice.
Like I didn't even see the original video. I just saw the quote tweets and people screenshotting or whatever. And I just look at it, I'm like, wait, hold on. Why are the septum piercings mad at Ronnie?
Yeah. Dude, you're what? You're eating steak, smoking cigars, and doing
the
dry
amount
fire
of
drills?
the amount of insults I had to Google. Like, I know I'm stupid. Like, nobody knows how stupid I am more than I do. I had to Google so many insults.
What are your favorites?
Camp?
Camp?
Camp.
How do you spell it?
Camp, like
C-A-M-P.
C-A-M-P. Somebody said, this is so camp and something. And actually, that's the one
I
that
don't know that
It
one
means
either.
gay, doesn't
That's
it?
the one that Cody retweeted. And I commented to Cody, I was like, Cody, I don't know what that means, bud.
Cody retweeted it to spite you.
No, he was like, why are people mad at this? So the original intent, and there's actually it's not
Are you
interesting
going to tell us
story.
what camp means?
I still don't know what it means.
I think,
Like, it was
I think
so,
it means gay.
No, it means something else. Hold on.
I got this.
What is?
I got
great
it.
content
Urban
right here.
Dictionary camp. So bad it's good, except it's gay. That is the.
Yeah, I was saying. I thought I've heard
the-
gay guys call things camp.
The
Like, oh, that's
irony,
so
the
cute.
irony behind that is very, very interesting to me. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, nobody tell his wife he's gay.
Or my 3 kids, or
Yeah.
well, everybody measures their manhood on like weird shit now. They're like, if you don't do this, you're not being a real man. I'm like, well, I got 3 kids. I'll do whatever the f I want. All right. So
I just love that they're like, my man's on his own property, drinking bourbon, grilling steaks, and dry firing a handgun, and they're like, clearly a homosexual.
well, that was kind of inadvertently their point, is like that I was performing this to show how much
Right.
of a man I am. Well, first of all, I almost brought my roller skates down here to dry fire in roller skates. I don't give a fuck what you think. I used to jive skate for competition. I don't give a f. Oh yeah, like this was a
We
thing.
both had the
Yeah,
same.
wait, but what does that mean?
Like, you know, like the roller skating rinks, big afro, dancing on 4-wheeled skates.
I
did
was
that
horrified
shit-
that's what you
I-
thought.
I-
Yeah, that's
that's
what I thought it meant.
No, that was all.
Rollerblades and then the N word.
So it's
crazy.
If you
Excuse me, stewardess.
if you think that was performative masculinity, tell me that when I'm wearing fruit boots. Okay, so the story behind that is actually a really interesting one, because I was at a gun show, like the Dulles Expo. They actually stopped doing the biggest gun show in Virginia. My family's been in Virginia since like 1624. I'm very proud to be a Virginian, and I will fight tooth and nail to stay in Virginia. First
I
of
thought
all,
you said you had 3 kids.
what?
You said you have 3 kids, but you're a Virginian?
Yeah.
I hate that I know the joke.
Oh my God. I just told you I was stupid. All right. So I was at this show, and there was a
Yeah, no,
there was
that
a
joke
relatively small company that was like, hey, will you try our holster? And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. You know, and they only wanted $60. What was that?
Thunder. This is Thunder. Okay.
God was very unhappy with what just happened. Apparently,
God hated that Virginian joke.
It was that bad.
That's the line.
It was that bad. So I got this brand new holster for this new Glock 45. I had just bought and used, first of all. So I bought a Glock 45. I didn't even have a holster for it yet. And I was talking to this local company. They gave me this holster. So I got home and I was home alone and I'm carnivore. So of course I'm going to be cooking a steak. That's all I eat is meat, right? Well, at least 90% of my diet.
I'm understanding the campy part now.
So I was like, oh, I'm going to throw a steak on the fucking grill. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, well, I got this new holster. I'll put this holster in and I'll give this thing a shot. You know, I suck, but I'm going to try it. And then I realized, I'm still home alone. You know, I'm out here in the back deck. It's a beautiful night. I'm going to have a glass of bourbon. So I have a glass of bourbon. And then I'm like, bro, this is a fucking awesome night. I am having a great time. And I hope the boys will appreciate this kind of night that I'm having. So I literally propped my phone up on the bourbon glass. And I was like, this is my night, guys. And then I made it into some Discord somewhere. And it turned into this absolute chaos of, quote, performative masculinity. I didn't know what the fuck that was.
This white man's having a good time. Get him.
That guy.
It would have been hilarious ending that video. It's like whiskey, that, dry fire, sucking it. It's just hard to say that. Then I was like, oh, wait.
All you had to do was respond to one of them, like one of the bigger ones, just like, well, I am gay. And then they would have all been like, oh shit, we're queer bashing our team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just, what made it distressing for me is I actually...
That one got Eli.
Well, I just, the flashbang of you being like after just pulling this and just normal dry fire technique.
Well, that's why I pretend to be gay on the internet. So I can,
everyone be like, oh, what the fuck was that?
Mr. Adkins, can I have one of your space zins?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. These are
They're
fucking
nines. They're nines.
Yeah, I'm
you know
about
what
to go
fun
to the
story
moon.
about these is so these are actually my favorite. Not sponsored by Zone, but I could be. Just saying. Well, it's technically Canadian. What's fun about these though is these are illegal in Canada, so they export these only. Zone 9
so they're made in Canada.
They're made in Canada, but they are illegal in Canada. So I was under the new American Marksman brand. We were up there spectating King of 2 Mile. And I was talking with some of the competitors. I was interviewing one of them, and I was like, hey, you want one of mine? And he was like, I can't have that. Those are illegal. And I was like, first of all,
I can't have that.
I was like, first of all, maybe. Like, you can have it. Trust me. I'm not going to tell on you. But what do you mean they're illegal? Yeah, these are made in Canada. Yeah, it says right there, made in Canada, but illegal in Canada. And I didn't, it clicked. My first time to Canada, I went up there and I took a rifle. And I forgot to bring Zins or any nicotine really at all. I had like one pouch or one of these, and I ran out. So I went and I stopped at the gas station. The highest that they'll go is 4 milligram. You cannot find other than 4. I stopped at like 5 different gas stations before I realized that was the legal limit of what you could get.
And realistically, everybody only makes them in 3s below 4. Like there's not like a 4.
There's 6s. 3 and 6s were for the
No,
longest
but I mean
time.
like below 4. So like really what like with Zins, they only make
You would have had
3s.
the 3s, yeah, correct. You wouldn't have 4s, you would have had 3s.
So
what the fuck?
So I was hunting around for them, and at like the I don't know 5th or 6th gas station, I was like, I'll just like quad rip these things, 2 in the top, 2 in the bottom, 1 in the ass, and let's go. And
All right, Tucker, calm down.
so come to find out later, yeah, they have a legal cap on that, and so another problem that I take in like 13. This is not okay. All right, I'm pouring it out for you. I take in like 1,300 milligrams a day of caffeine.
I know
It is a ridiculous amount of caffeine, and it's not okay. Well, it's okay because that's what I want to do, and I do whatever the fuck I want.
America.
Well, as it turns out, all of their energy drinks are half caffeinated as well.
Yeah, Echelon is illegal in Canada, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
The spicy one is.
I didn't know
the
that.
300
I didn't know that. That was like the place we were staying didn't have coffee or anything, so that was like our energy in the morning. We were getting up early because we were flying to the top of the Rockies, doing all kinds of crazy
fucking coffee.
Imagine being babied by your nanny state to where they will tell you can't have nicotine or caffeine.
That is wild. to
Or
me.
guns, or
the
social
entire-
media with
anything.
free
The
speech.
entire time,
Anything. Fuck
I'm
it.
under caffeinated. I am under nicotinated. I have just not enough of my
About to say the same thing.
not enough of my substance abuse am I able to achieve in Canada? The second time I went to Canada, I drove a tank though. So at this point,
Hell yeah.
I feel like if I go back too many times, I'm just going to end up prime minister. Right. First time I took a gun. Second time I drove
And then
a tank.
afterward, you can pork down Katy Perry.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
I don't even know.
That nine's hitting my palms are sweaty.
Dude, a 6, when I first got into 6s, I was like, oh, and then I just stopped forever. I do
Sometimes
3
I
a day.
fall asleep with 9s in my face.
You're an
still, and
insane
it's-
person.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah, it's bad, dude. Like, it's not okay. Nobody knows how bad I am other than me.
I think that's just called passing out. You didn't go to sleep. You just fucking
Oh,
lost
nicotine's a stimulant.
consciousness.
I fell asleep with
I
my
thought
clothes on
nicotine
in
was
my
kind of an
urine.
upper.
Yeah, it's a stimulant.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's the perfect jeans.
Right?
I can leave.
Brandon, feel it.
Get on his shoulders.
Up here, big boy.
Try the perfect jeans out as earmuffs.
Brandon, how perfect are they?
Feels like the perfect jeans.
They're so flexible.
I'm fat. I can actually do squats on them. Usually that's an issue. I'm not kidding.
I'm picturing you doing squats in the gym with these jeans.
I could.
Dude, they are like...
Eli's just mogging on the audience right now.
Finn, make my dick talk.
자러 가야겠다. 네가 늦게 왔잖아.
Now you're watching the ad. And pant season is almost here.
It's always pants season if you're an adult.
It's August in Texas. We're all wearing jeans.
The perfect jeans.
That's right. Today we're talking about the perfect jean. Brandon, how'd my jeans feel on your neck?
Feels like I need to talk to HR.
But they were comfortable, right?
Absolutely.
This brand, the perfect jean.
It's actually perfect. It's real denim, but not the heavy stuff.
I just like how they finally say that we can say F your khakis, which works great pretty much everywhere except for Boston, I'm sure.
Just means the valet is quitting. For a limited time, our listeners get 15% off their first order plus free shipping at theperfectjean.nyc.
Or Google the perfect jean and use code UNSUB15 to get 15% off.
It's finally time to stop crushing your balls and wear comfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc.
Our listeners get 15% off their first order plus free shipping.
It's lighter, softer, stretchier, and it's not a sex toy.
Not with that attitude.
Use that one, Finn.
And again, that's free returns, free exchanges when you use code UNSUB15 at checkout.
That's 15% off at checkout for the perfect jeans. Connor loves perfect jeans.
He does. They fit him really nice.
Oh, pants.
Completely off the rails here. We started a conversation just before camera started rolling. You're on a television show.
Yeah. Well, sort of. Well, I mean, it's not
I
sort
feel
of.
like that's like a half pregnant thing. Like you either are or you're not.
Yeah, so I did get a chance to do a show, and it was because it's because of the work with Funker 530. Because what we started doing, I host a live show for Funker 530 every Friday, right? I'll work backwards from there. So every Friday, what I do, rather than just show you, here's a video of some poor bastard running from a drone while he looks back at it. What I try to do is, not cover too much of that shit. It's been documented. We understand the capability that drones bring. The real conversation...
It's not just war porn.
The real conversation... Correct. That's the intent, at least. The conversation I have about drones is that they really transcend all of our warfighting functions. You know, when you look at logistics, intelligence, fires themselves, so actually kinetic strikes, drones are what are being used. Kazovac, right? They're putting casualties on unmanned ground vehicles and taking them out of the battle space. So when we have one of those transcendent things with drones, that's when I cover that stuff.
I mean, just speaking of which, just a couple days ago, Ukraine took out that Russian submarine. It's like a $500 million sub they took out with an underwater drone.
Yeah. So an underwater, they actually just released, I was looking at it right before we started, some satellite photos. And Russia currently, this is like classic Russia, is saying, nuh-uh, but they took satellite photos before and after, and all the other subs have been moved except for that one. They were like, no, see, it's still there. And it's
There
like,
just happens to be a floating dead submarine right where
well,
it's
it's still there
up.
because it's a fucking beached whale, you idiots.
Yeah.
That's so. I mean, drones themselves, they transcend everything, all warfighting functions.
The
which is a
entire
huge
crew
deal.
just got sleepy.
they're fine.
The sub's on its side because it's taking a nap.
So the live show every Friday, it's meant, I actually give you like a geolocation of where this video takes place relative to the FLOT, the forward line of troops. And I say, look, man, this is where this video takes place. This is the general operation that's taking place around it. This is, at least my assessment as an Intel dweeb. I'm the most pogue dude to ever peruse the internet, trust me.
Meanwhile, Russians are watching your live stream like, it's where now?
Oh, dude, I got DOSed by Russia.
No shit.
My whole home network got taken down multiple times when I first started the live show.
No
Yeah,
shit.
it was my own fault, but
What'd you do?
It's kind of hard to say because it was a distributed denial of service. This gets into my civilian background. So I was a cybersecurity guy for like 14 years in the intelligence community. But I was live streaming one of our first live shows.
Is that hail?
No, that's just
No,
rain.
it's just rain.
Rain.
Yeah. And
Like-
we were doing so much website traffic that our website crashed, and a Cloudflare, which is one of our, at the time, hosting services, I guess, sort of, popped up, a Cloudflare message popped up with my IP. So my external interface IP in the middle of the live show. I've got like 20,000 concurrent viewers. My whole home network just dropped, right? So, I mean, being a former cybersecurity guy, like I used to conduct digital forensics investigations into like, child stuff like that. Like I used to really be active in cybersecurity. I took a look through my logs, and it's difficult when it's a distributed denial of service because that means it comes from many, many, many different places. An overwhelming majority of the IPs that were hitting my forward interface were all Russian. So, but you could be in fucking California and hire a DDoS service. There used to be the nerds out there will know the low orbit ion cannon, high orbit ion cannon that Anonymous used to use, or that became popular with like the 4chan, the script kiddies and stuff. Anyway, I still believe that it was either somebody that was just fucking around, which is a high likelihood, or it was quite literally, just a state-sponsored actor, which is something I dealt with I did cyber counterintelligence. I dealt with foreign intelligence entities getting placement and access into that monitor and that computer down there in a supply chain level. That was my focus.
What would you have done that would have pissed off the Ruskies?
I don't know really, because it's really about just conveying what's happening.
So you weren't even like delving down into like the partisan nature of it.
I actually don't care much about that, to be honest.
As Russia looking at how they present themselves, or even North Korea is a good example. They try to present, we are winning, we are strong. If you have, we can access a VPN, watch American news, and then you have an individual breaking down their failures at a military level, now it's causing discourse in their own home country. It's like, we're not as good as we think we are. Fuck, we've been presented, we're unstoppable.
Well, in those early days, Russia was just taking ground. Like with the first couple days, dude, they had made it all the way to Kyiv, right? And there are one of the most watched videos on Funker 530 right now is a video of a Russian saboteur team making its way in in an armored personnel carrier, and they just start taking fire from all over the place in Kyiv, right? Those early days, Russia in that very kind of like, I wouldn't say blitzkrieg-esque, but I mean, more or less just barreling in, they made a lot of ground, and eventually
they were pushing in, taking airports. Like they were.
So the siege of when they took Hostomel is what that is, right? So their intent was to have a launch pad from Hostomel to be able to funnel more combat power into and eventually force a capitulation early.
That's the airport where the Spetsnaz took.
Yes. Yeah. Some of the wildest footage, right? Having really about a decade worth of combat footage review, because even before I was with 530, I was doing like initial analysis on ISIS releases when I was supporting the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency at one point. And when ISIS would release their footage, one of the things that you try to do is geolocate stuff. And you say, okay, what's the skyline look like? Can I triangulate this?
Like GeoGuessr type shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
He will not divide us level. Like,
what?
Are you familiar with that
story?
Yeah.
No. Not to derail, but it was like the Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, yeah.
So you had 4chan that was looking at like the fucking
and they
flight
found it.
patterns in the sky. Yeah. They would find it within
rural
12
Tennessee.
hours.
Autism.
Weaponized autism.
So I was doing that for a few years, and then now at 530 it's something I just kind of continue. And going back, the intent was to take Hostomel, right? We're able to then funnel more combat power in, but that position became untenable because they had like 5 different fronts they were advancing on. They came from Chernobyl in Belarus. They pushed to try and establish the land bridge between the Donbass and Crimea, which they were successful in doing. That land bridge is now established. So that was a sub-function or a sub-goal of theirs. But they had all of these different fronts, and it just functionally was not a tenable position for them. So early on, I was helping people kind of understand some of those nuances to what at a strategic level an operation like this looks like. That's all source intelligence is really supposed to be able to describe things at a 30,000 foot level and distill them in a way that makes sense, right? It's only as good as the analyst, though. So I've met half of my platoon way back in 2007 that went through AIT, got thrown out for coke abuse. So all intelligence is less about what's the term that they use, where it's the job title, not the description, right? So. But that's the Funker 530 live shows. I try and place it in time and space for you as best as I can. If you take things up to a larger perspective, I think there is some level of value in debasing our adversaries. There has to be an end state behind that. To a certain perspective, like we have to know when that's no longer tenable for us. And I don't claim to know enough to know when that is. My goal and my job at 5:30 with the live show is this video, this is the technique that you're seeing, this is how it fits into an overall strategy, this is where it takes place in time and space. Let's move on to the next video.
When you say adversaries, do you mean adversaries of the United States?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we do have adversaries. A lot of people that don't believe that we do. 13 years in the intelligence community and everything from counterintelligence to threat intelligence. I can tell you that there are big 4 that are out there that are actively and 100% at all times positioning themselves against the United States.
Russia, Iran, North Korea.
Yay! North Korea actually has a really capable cyber program.
Good job.
Their cyber program is fucking. That's where they spent a lot of their resources.
Yes,
and it's like, hey, we have to develop these individuals, and this is how we're going to make money since we're restricted on everything. So learn to hack, learn to crush. No, they like.
No. I'm just saying. I was going to say that's very entertaining to me, considering we were wiping them off the board with that early on because they were attempting it, and we were just like, oh, dude, they're running like 30-year-old Windows.
So if you think back, North Korea actually crossed a boundary that nobody had before, right? So back in my day when I was still doing this, I can't believe I'm old enough to say that.
Which is when?
I left full-time cybersecurity work in 2022 when I did the TV show. No. So that's actually where it gets interesting. I dropped into the organization that would eventually become U.S. Cyber Command when I was 20 years old. My entire career in the Army is, that's why I say I'm the most pogued ever be. I am King Pogue, and you will not unseat me. Like, we can even fight about that if you'd like, but my entire military career has been Army Reserve. So in parallel, and I've got a whole diatribe that I go into about like using solely your military service as a measurement of your value on, back to the world. But in parallel, my civilian career was progressing much faster. By the time I was 20, in 2009, 2010-ish, I joined an organization that would eventually turn into United States Cyber Command, co-located with the NSA. I was also Army Reserve, so I had yet to deploy. I didn't deploy until 2013 with the Army Reserve. So by that time, I had moved into cyber counterintelligence. We were investigating foreign intelligence entities that were actively compromising like critical networks and stuff that we use. I even did some liaison work for the agency. Starts with a C, ends with agency. I spent I moved under the DHS umbrella eventually. Then I started moving into management, a little bit out of the technical, but that's where I started to get into a little bit of digital forensics.
So long story short, he knows exactly what you watched during those 4 minutes that you're getting your hair gel.
Dude,
Concert's hair gel sponsor starts now.
So that's
hey, what's up, man?
That's actually what pushed. So moving that final
Running
move,
low on our pre-order inventory, so I'm gonna need some Gatorade.
Yeah. This guy likes blondes.
Just with one scoop.
that last move
It's baby's
is what
cry.
pushed me out of the government. I'm going to be honest. So once I got into kind of insider threat type stuff, like misuse versus insider threat, that's when it became like, holy fuck. Growing up, I thought that the government and their employees were supposed to be the best of us. So being exposed to the actual investigations that are being done behind the scenes, we investigated everything from child to drug use with government laptops, to drug sales with government laptops. Now, that's not me saying there are absolutely good people that are working in government. I mean people that wake up every day and their sole job and function is to serve the people of the United States by fulfilling a role within government that they want to. But the hypocrisy that I ran into of holding government office, they are most certainly not by and writ large the best of us, in my opinion.
No, I'm going to ask you a question that may have to be cut.
My brake lines are currently being cut as we speak.
Cody. You remember the big wallet I had that was leather and crusty?
The one that hurt your back, it was so big?
That one. Guess what I got now?
A little wallet?
Yes, by Ridge.
It was one of many things that hurt your back because it was so big.
Brandon's wallet blew his back out.
You've been cheating.
But now we have Ridge Wallet.
Tyler, how do you like your American Ridge wallet? Now, say hello to Ridge 2.0. What's that mean? Tyler.
There was 1.0 and this is 2.0.
Nailed it.
Over 50 colors and styles to choose from, like America.
And now with the Ridge 2.0, it's even 10% lighter.
10%.
Feels lighter.
It has RFID blocking tech.
It's an absolute blast. Over 100,000 5-star reviews.
Dear Lord. The RFID blocking keeps you safe from digital pickpocketers, just like my gun keeps me safe from physical pickpocketers.
Did you know Ridge has a lifetime warranty?
I do now.
I actually really like this design.
For a limited time, Ridge is having their huge Black Friday sale.
Head over to ridge.com. Get up to 47% off your order.
Almost 50% off your order at ridgewallet.com.
This is by far the biggest discount they've given all year.
That's ridge.com to get 47% off.
After your purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support the show and let them know we sent you. I'm going to ask you a question that may have to be cut from this, but did you ever run into a scenario where you're investigating one of these things and somebody came from higher up and told you, yeah, you're going to drop that? We need this guy.
Yes and no. So we ran into a couple of investigations where, a lot of what we worked, I'll use an example outside of like child or anything like that, right? I'll use an example of like classified information spillage. We worked a lot of those. That happens a lot where you've got these,
Especially on War Thunder servers.
oh my God, dude, don't let me go.
That Discord.
So it sucks being on the outside looking into a lot of these things because there are layers to the things that I can be involved in from a conversational perspective. But this is actually really interesting. Well, I shouldn't say interesting. It's interesting to me. We ran into a couple of instances where egos got in the way of holding people accountable for potential loss of actual national security information. And what I mean by that is you have there are absolutely still organizations out there that have this factional understanding of like the contractors, because I was a contractor for all of my time, right? So I was considered a cybersecurity subject matter expert. They would hire us to come in to do the real technical nuance. And I did that for many different companies for, again, almost 15 years. Well, we were the dirty contractors and we weren't allowed to be the ones to say, hey, government, SES, whatever position that you hold, GS-15, you fucked up because you printed on an unclassified printer that has access to an unclassified system using your classified system, which means that is technically now stored on a classified system. You fucked up and we have to write that up. So there were situations that we ran into where somebody was like, I don't work for you, and I'm going to make sure that you guys have problems with your contract in the future. And it's like, are you threatening like our business because you had a security violation right now, dude?
You fucked up and now it's our
like that's
problem.
not how this works at all. There's actually one of the organizations I supported, and I'm not going to go too far into this, but it just hit the news not too long ago. It starts with an F and it ends with Emergency Management Agency. I'd recommend you go and Google some of their cybersecurity organization that was recently fired. I ended my career with that organization. That was the one that I stepped away from to step into the TV show, actually.
Just because they were bleeding out?
Well, it wasn't necessarily just that. After about 10, 11, 12 years worth of doing this, I started to realize I am an inside dog, or I'm an outside dog stuck inside. I am not meant for corporate life. This is not my game. I need to find an exit strategy. And that exit strategy came primarily with Funker 530, but when I got brought onto the TV show, it was like, this is it. I'm done.
So feel free to tell me to fuck off, but was that about the same time as like the Appalachian hurricane relief stuff, or?
No. So this is actually more recent than that. It's fun.
Oh.
It's interesting because I got a call from actually the lady that I hired to be, I brought her back. So I deployed, there's a whole story that goes along with, USERRA rights, so Uniform Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act. If you deploy for the military, they have to hold your job for you, and you have what's called the escalator clause. The escalator clause means that if you left for a deployment, or even if you voluntarily chose to sign up for the military, say you were supposed to automatically receive a promotion in 2 years, and for some reason you got back at 2.5. You get that promotion and you get your job back. That's called the escalator clause. When I left for my first deployment, second deployment, I was in the task order lead position at the time. There was not a program manager position. Task order lead, like 15 or so employees, ran a security operations center. One of the guys that I hired as like one of my employees was who they chose to backfill me as the task order lead. And then they hired him as the program manager while I was gone. And when I came back, I had to work for him. Mm-hmm. Right. So eventually that problem worked itself out. That is not how USERRA rights work. So if you're watching this and you're dealing with a USERRA problem, make sure to reach out to ESGR, Employer Support to the Guard and Reserve. They will hook you up and help you out. Amazing organization. So the lady that I ended up really handing the reins off to, I had brought back because she was just so good. She called me like 2 months ago and was like, hey, I want you to Google FEMA and click on news right now. And basically a good old boy system got torn down. And it was that last straw for me that was kind of like, dude, I can't do this anymore. Like, I need to work for myself. I need to have 9 jobs or something to pay the bills, which is exactly how it worked out. And I work more now than I ever have for way less money. But that's why I drink Elijah Craig. Yeah. But I'm getting long-winded about it. But you fall into what is considered like a dream career, and you're like, wow, this is going to be amazing. And then through exposure to just absolute bullshit and politics in corporate life, you just realize that if you have a dream, and my dream was always to do what I do now, give it a go, dude. Seriously. But now we're afloat. My kids are fed. My oldest daughter is playing for our state's Olympic selection team, so the Olympic development pool. Just got that message like while we were live that she made the like most recent cut.
Hell
for
yeah,
that.
man.
Awesome. What sport?
Dude, soccer. And I don't know fuck all about soccer, dude. I don't know nothing about soccer.
I know Americans typically aren't good at it, but
somebody's gonna yell at me for calling it soccer.
Football.
Anyway,
so you live in the dream and still drinking Elijah Craig.
So there, man, I've just got nothing but stories tonight. Holy shit!
Because you had mentioned, you said that there was a reason why you'd brought Elijah Craig.
I did. I actually brought this for you guys, and then now I'm the only one that's drank any of it. And what's funny is I drank some of it before you guys even got here. I don't know if that's so. Elijah Craig, I'm more of a bourbon enjoyer than a knower, but there are some people that consider Elijah Craig to be the father of all bourbon. So he was born in Virginia. I mentioned being a Virginian. Mm-hmm. earlier.
Never had
I don't know if
sex
you
before.
remembered.
Yeah.
So he was a
Swear if
Baptist.
we hear thunder.
God hates that joke.
He was a Baptist preacher, but he wasn't like it wasn't like certified or whatever the right word is for that.
Ordained?
Yeah, but this is like 1760s, something like that.
1789, it looks like on the bottle.
Well, that might be when he started it down in Kentucky, but he was born in like the 1730s in Virginia. And in my hometown, I live in a town near a town called Culpeper, Virginia.
What's your address?
Yeah, it's
It looks at his watch to determine his address.
I don't know how much more time do we have before I get asked what my social security number is. Anyway, he was actually jailed in Culpeper, Virginia, and every year they do this like awesome little like celebration in Culpeper about that. And the propaganda 100% sold me. It's also cheap, and I'm poor, so that's why I drink it.
What did he go to jail for?
For preaching without having the appropriate certification to do that as a Baptist. So that's why he was put in jail. It was a big like religious liberty kind of thing for him. You know, I should be able to preach.
Pre-First Amendment then?
No. Well,
Actually,
I guess it would have been.
That certainly would have been, actually.
I keep looking at 1789. I'm like, well,
no. So because that was when he would move to Kentucky and established, his distillery, right?
Yeah,
1789. Anyway, yeah, that's why I drink it. It's pretty good. You know, I enjoy it.
It's always wild back in the day. I'm like, how did people know? It's at home. It's a 2-week ride. Okay, I'll trust him. Just like off. I'm not gonna check records for that shit back in the day.
I'm blown away by that. That's just like such a British. Oh, you got a license to preach?
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just spreading the gospel. You got a license for that license?
Like motherfucker. Also, Trout, what you've done in the last few months? What has been your favorite video you have covered for your conspiracies? And then that's amazing,
Man, what an interesting video idea.
dude. Really?
that's amazing, dude.
You lost weight.
Where does he get his inspiration from? That's the thing. You know?
Most riveting section of the podcast.
He lost weight, right? Chase is just gonna cut to one and then back to when it's like, oh hey, I'm here. Fucking so North Korea's their GDP, 13% of it comes from cybercrime.
Dude, it's so bad.
From cyber crime?
Yep.
That's what I was saying. Like
I
that's
never
what
even
they
finished. I got on the back in my day thing. I don't know why. I like a squirrel. You know, squirrel.
Could it be the 9 milligram Zins and the 1,300 milligrams of caffeine?
My wife is a wonderful, patient woman. I'll put it that way. So they actually crossed the first boundary, right? So back in my day, they called it computer network exploitation versus computer network attack, right? So exploitation being, imagine the online version of the Cold War, where you're doing it solely for the purposes of espionage and intelligence gain.
Right.
Attack being something that's so much more harmful. You're destroying information. You're taking information down.
Actively going on the offensive instead of just trying to penetrate networks.
So
shit like that.
Sony, when they released
Right.
The Interview, which prominently showcases an actor acting to be their dear leader.
Great movie, by the way.
Oh, it's a fantastic movie. I love that movie.
As much as I may not like Seth Rogen.
Their servers were hacked into and things were deleted, right? So that crossed the boundary from like exploitation or espionage online into attack because they were destroying information. And that was, I wouldn't say like, an epiphany or a revelation of any kind, because the difference between espionage or, gathering something for intelligence value and for the destructive intent is solely intent.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the same level of placement and access. If somebody wants to take your router down, if they just want to collect on you, they're going to gain the same level of access to do that. So all the difference is between espionage or exploitation and attack is intent.
Yeah. Do you think we should airstrike them because McDonald's made billions of dollars last year?
Sure. I don't care.
I know somebody who agrees. There we go.
Pee-pee's gone.
I know. Oh my God.
Now I've got to pee.
Do it.
All my pee-pee's gone.
I feel
The
like
bet.
1,000 pounds lighter.
Dude, this on stage when you have to hold it is the worst. I've only left stage once during a live show, and I was like, I'm
Dude,
fucking
this morning I just told Brandon, I had a dream this morning. It was like fucking 7 a.m., 6 a.m. I had a dream where I pissed in my dream and I did not piss in real life.
Oh.
That's got to be the first time that's ever happened.
Dude, that happened a lot when I was a kid, and it's always that. It's like you wake up. I'd always have to pee really bad.
and then
Did you
I
wake up and you're like,
I patted myself down and I went, and then sprinted to the bathroom.
dude, I used to do that as a child.
It was the dumbest shit in the world, but I had a dream where I was pissing at a urinal.
One of my favorite Charlie classic skits is you're like falling asleep and you have to poop, and then you wake up and you don't. You're like, where'd the poop go?
Your body reabsorbs it.
Yeah, exactly.
You ever have
It's
to
like,
take a
why
shit?
don't I have to poop now?
You ever have to take a shit so bad that you have to hold it in whatever situation you're in, and then it just goes away, and you're like, where did it go?
Many times. But dude, one of the last live shows I was actively watching the timer as it's getting close. It's too close to run to the pisser, and I'm like, and I look at Nick, and he's like, I have to piss so bad. I was like, okay, cool. I love everyone. Let's give it a nice round of applause. And I'm like, okay, and it's like, oh, you have to give away the flag. I'm like,
Oh, we forgot to. We whole ass forgot to do that in Jersey. I didn't know that was why.
Throw it. Y'all gotta
Fucking-
put a tablecloth in front, and then just have empty milk jugs.
Real awkward for the people taking photos backstage.
dude, I was like, and thank you. Put it down. Me and Nick are sprinting to the first restaurant.
In Boston, I played it fast and loose on the flight there with that airplane food. And I am dead serious. I was about to shit myself on stage.
Eating airplane chili.
It was a like I was
Why,
I was
yes,
in the restroom.
American. This sushi sounds amazing.
Have you ever shit
Odd
yourself?
choice.
Like legit shit yourself?
Not like in public, like full on shit yourself. No,
Just like at a,
No,
No?
knock on wood.
What about
never
you, bud?
happened.
I've told my poop story when I got super shit. But I was home, so it was good.
I came
Which is still
damn
a very
close
funny
one time.
story.
I was a contractor, and I was working on somebody's house who's actually a fan of the show. I worked on your house. I can't remember your name. I love you and your wife. And I was in this small town, and there's one gas station, and I'm just like working on their house, and it was like, and I'm like, oh no. And I get in my truck, and I just left my tools all over the front yard, and I gun it to this fucking gas station. I get there and it's middle of winter. It's like January, and I got my bibs, and so I'm like literally taking them off as I'm like running into the gas station.
But it's hard. It's way harder than normal to take them bibs off at that time.
And they got a one. So it's like you go in.
Fine motor skills are all fucking. Oh god.
There's a urinal and there's a stall. I kick in the fucking door. I unhook my bibs as I'm running in. I'm like unzipping them. And I was probably wearing this sweater because this is my cold winter wear. And I unbuckle my pants, and it's one of those ones where like you're squatting down and
it's just
halfway
moving
it's
along.
there.
Yeah.
2 seconds later, dum, 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 guy pounding on the stall. And I was like, sorry, buddy. And I just hear through the fucking stall door, he goes, oh, God. Like, oh. Dude.
So when you hear the poop noises, and it's like, there's only a urinal out there.
Dude, today was my day. It was not your day. Oh, we bet it all on black, and we
was
came
out
this
once,
close.
and
Like a full on shit yourself.
it was enough for me to realize that's not a fart. And, my wife watches a lot of what I do, and she's gonna.
Say my wife watched it happen.
So she's involved. She just doesn't know it. So before,
Is she about to discover this?
yeah,
on it?
yeah. This is the first time I've ever. She doesn't know this at all.
So sorry, Mrs. Atkins.
Well, my wife is actually my high school best friend's younger sister, first of all. I've known her since I was a teenager. And
she was 8.
I changed her diaper.
That was inappropriate.
she was 13 when I met her, so it's not that far off. I just wasn't, I was also a young teenager.
So this is last week.
Anyway, I'm pretty sure I'm like, I don't know, 8 years older than you are, actually.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, how old are you?
I'm 36.
Yeah, so 6 years.
Yeah. Fair enough. So I was on my way to take her on one of our first dates, and I'm driving down the road, and let's just put it this way. at one point in time I was obese and did not have the best like diet.
Which shocked the shit out of me when we were talking about this off camera.
Oh, yeah.
I had no fucking clue. At
I
one
have,
point,
I have more stretch marks than my wife, and she has given our family 3 beautiful children.
So you said you weighed at your peak. You were what, 270?
I was close to 270. Yeah.
Shit. No shit.
Yeah.
So I know we haven't talked about the fitness challenge shit in a long time. You too could look like Ronnie.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the entire thing that I talk about all the time is if my stupid ass can figure it out, you can.
You lost a human being's worth of weight.
Over 120 pounds at my lightest. So I got all the way down to like 158, something like that. So I was fat when I went into basic training, and then I blew up when we had our first baby. Like we both just really enjoy cake. I still enjoy cake so much, dude. Like I get way into. I have a sugar problem. I'll just put it that way. But I blew up, dude. I got all the way up again, close to 270, and I have a couple pictures. There's really only 2 or 3 pictures that I have of that time, and it's really about like little lifestyle changes. You know, like small changes that you can make that don't send you down a path of something that's going to contend every day with you, right? So the simplest change that you can make, and I know people are going to laugh at this because they're going to say, well, that's just as bad as stop drinking sugary sodas and switch to like 0-calorie sodas. Yes, it is fucking bad for you. I understand that. What's your goal? Is your goal to be holistically healthy? Then don't drink fucking either of them.
Yeah.
But if your goal is to lose weight, cut that part of the sugar out, right? So make that small change, and then you can make the small changes like moving from simple carbs to complex carbs. But losing that amount of weight just teaches you so much over time. And how did we end up getting on my weight loss? Oh I shit myself. That's how we ended up here. Anyway, this was a time in my life that I was fat and I was eating really dog shit foods. And I was on my way to take my wife out for one of our first dates. And I got the bubble guts, and I was like, yeah, it's fine. It was not fine. Things were not okay, and I realized right away. And you know how you kind of like sit up a little bit. You're like, whoa, bud.
That came close.
Well, it wasn't close, so I had to pull off on the side of the road. And for some reason that day, I was wearing whitey tighties. I'll never forget that. That is
9?
No. I don't know why. That's what I was wearing.
Why were you wearing white? Did you have the intention of
Exactly the
having,
statement. I'm like, were you 9?
of having sex with your wife at this point? I know you were just going on a date.
Actually, but no, we were.
That was not the probability. You're just going in completely unshaven, whitey tighties.
Yeah, I was wearing whitey tighties, but I no longer.
That's
let me put it
nuts.
this way: I no longer have those whitey tighties. They ended up in some random person's driveway trash can.
Hijo de su pinche puta madre.
Listen, if you can't admit to shitting yourself, if you want to shit yourself, you need to.
Fair enough. I will say, yeah, if you've shit yourself, own up to it.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody's had that moment where you trusted for it a little too much. But
you kind of do the swipe to just feel if it's a little.
Y'all are fucking disgusting. I've not shit myself since I was a child.
But I thought you were talking about like actually like shit yourself.
Well, there was definitely poo.
Well, that's not great.
It's a downhill.
No, and what you missed, it was on the way to take my wife on one of our first dates. So I had to pull off into somebody's driveway and figure that out.
No, so you just free
because there was nothing between. We lived in the sticks by then. You know, there was nothing between. There was no bathroom anywhere between my location and hers.
That farmer went out to take the trash out and got the weirdest surprise ever.
Huh, honey? Or the wife found it.
I don't care.
Why does it say R. Adkins? What the heck?
He's got his name
It
written.
it actually probably did because this is like post basic. Well, no, this wouldn't have been. It might have been post basic training. Thinking about the vehicle that I was in. Yeah, it probably was actually. So that means I would have had my last 4 written on there, like, you know, an absolute dork, because for some reason, so they make you write like the last 4 of your. At the time, it was social, but now you have your DOD ID number that you can use
In your underwear?
Yeah, you have to write that on fucking everything,
Jesus
bro.
Christ.
So like out of just habit, like all of my shit used to be labeled with my last initial the last 4 of my social. So it probably did have like some identifying mark on it. Now
If
that
you
I
could
think
list
about
those
it.
4 numbers, what would they be?
9988.
Yeah. Mother's maiden name?
Adkins.
Your parents are related?
They weren't married. I'm actually a weaver, to be honest with you. So my so her maiden name is
First joke is like,
Wait, what?
yeah. That's a lot. Let me put it that way. Like we were adopted into the Adkins name. Like I've not got no relation to it. You know, I'm technically a weaver. It's
Okay.
so like
My
my
patrilineal name, but you adopted your mother's
yeah.
name. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I love how you immediately just saw, you knew what he meant, but you saw the kill shot for an ass joke.
Nope. Thanks, man.
You know, what part of Virginia?
Is there a West in that somewhere?
How far west?
Actually, a lot of my family is from West Virginia. Yeah. So.
Yep. The Atkins part specifically.
No, I actually.
My father and my mother's
I have no
side.
relation to the Adkins name
full of
at
me
all.
surprised.
My sperm donors carry the name Weaver. I just had very little interaction with that side of the family at all. But that's actually the name that we traced all the way back. The Adkins, we actually have no idea where that comes from because we were adopted into it. My grandfather was adopted into the Adkins name, and
No shit.
yeah. So like the closest thing that I've got is we are either Ellises or Weavers. I got really into like the ancestry thing at one point. I paid for like the top tier, not the one that's like, we'll give you a couple hints. I mean like the spendy one where it's like, we will tell you everything about
Where it
your
shows you, like, news articles and shit.
dude.
Yeah.
They
And-
exhume your great-great-grandfather and mail him to you.
It's actually amazing. It's super expensive and only worth it if it really matters to you. And it's not necessarily that it does, but I did try college at one point in time, and it was like, they wanted you to write an article about your history. I was like, I don't know fucking shit about my family's history. I'm adopted into this name. But I ended up being able to trace my family back to Martin's 100 and being an indentured servant at Martin's 100.
Where from originally before that?
So it's like English and Scottish, I guess. And then the other side so the Weavers married the Beaumeyers, which are French. So we traced them back to a small town in France to like I don't know, like a priest or something like that. But it's so interesting being able to trace that. And then we also did the same thing for my wife. Like she's like Scandinavian. She's a fucking Viking. Dude, I'm punching like 9 weight classes above my weight at the moment. Let me put it that way.
And still shitting yourself on the way.
Still shitting myself on the way. Figuring that out. It's day to day.
Getting revenge for
Seat of the
700
pan-
years ago.
It's all seat of the pants, but it's got to be different pants every day because I keep shitting myself.
It's a history joke.
Love
I
it.
say I paid for the same thing with the
Did you?
where you get like news articles.
Yeah,
and shit.
dude,
I don't want to discuss it because I don't want people to be able to figure out who I am. But
I don't.
yeah, you can find
I'm
like
doxxed.
news articles about your great great grandpa and shit, and I traced all my shit all the way back to like 1602.
Can you at least tell the story with your sister?
Oh yeah, my little sister did. She did 23andMe or one of those or whatever, and she gets her results back, which I was like, me and all my siblings kind of agreed, like, we don't want to do that. We don't want our fucking like DNA out there because they outsource it and they sell it to different people,
they don't.
different groups. Anyway, my little sister did it, and she gets the results back, and so like genetically we're 85% British, and then what's the difference? 15% Scandinavian. And she's like, I didn't know we had Viking blood in us. And I was like, I don't know if you've cracked open a history book.
But she's like, oh, that's so cool.
That's
and
so
you're like,
cool.
oh,
Yeah,
no.
and I'm like, oh,
God.
no.
That ancestor didn't think it was.
So the joke that I've made since then is I come from a long line of very strong men and very slow women.
It's a good shirt. You should do that.
I think that's called probable cause. But I think there was that one, because I've talked about this with my dad and stuff like that, is that there was that one crime that got solved, which like objectively good that the crime got solved. I think it was a homicide or something.
No, you were talking about the California police officer that was a serial.
I don't know.
I got nothing.
No, this is like a shit ton, and this is the.
But it got solved by 23andMe because they used that they had their database and the government cracked it open to, not cracked it open like they hacked it.
I-10 killer.
I don't know.
Oh, I just heard about this recently. Yeah.
I know enough to know what happened. I don't know enough to know any relevant details.
Like a serial killer who got caught. Yeah.
Original Night Stalker, the East Area, and the Golden State Killer. He was the exact same individual, but that's
truck driver.
No, he's a police officer.
Fuck.
That's why he never got caught, because he was like, oh, I just got to do this, and then I can hide everything that the police are going to look for. And I'm good. So, and it's crazy because it was 51 R words. I hate it. I can't say that. Fucking so stupid.
What is it?
R words, forced encounters.
Oh.
Raped.
13 murders, 51.
encounters.
Isn't it wild? They can be like, hey, there's 13 murders.
That's so
51 R words.
That's so fucking retarded that you can't talk about. You cannot.
And you can
can't
say
talk
that
about
word. You
crime.
can say retarded. I could have said
you can't say
51 retarded.
You can't say fucking Hitler. You can't say Nazis. It's so
You actually
fucking
those
retarded.
last two you can say.
Really? Yeah.
On what? What are we talking about? Like on for YouTube?
YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
Where it's
Yeah,
like
there's no rule against it, but they hate it.
Yeah, history's being fucking abridged. Oh, and like I made that video where I was talking about this like horrific story where there was this fucking guy who was just like one of the most egregious of all time, and that shit got age restricted because you cannot talk about.
Nope. You have to bleep
Not
it.
once did I say, oh, kids is great. By no stretch of the fucking imagination. It's like, no, this is a horrific thing that people should be aware of. This guy he was a politician. He walked away from everything. He was a egregious fucking. Sorry, whoever's editing this, you're going to have to bleep
Chase, have fun.
a lot of this. Sorry, Chase or Finn, whichever of you.
He just clips the one part where it's like, fucking kids is great. It's like, no, that's not what I meant.
I went to say that out loud, and I was like, let me shut the fuck up before I get myself in trouble. Somebody's going to clip that out.
That video was like, it was the pre-Epstein. Like it was like the Epstein before
It was
Epstein.
the Epstein case before the fucking Epstein case. It was exactly the same shit. We've seen it before. That was like the quote unquote joke I made in the intro.
And it was so that killer, the Golden State Killer, because of forensic genetic genealogy.
Lawrence King Jr.
Lawrence King Jr. was his name. Yeah.
Sorry. But one of the family members did a genealogy test, and then it was like, FBI was like, yo, hold up.
Wait a minute.
This DNA is very close. And then it's like, oh, that's our grandpa. And it was the individual that was doing it. And then everyone was surprised because it was a police officer. And they're like, what the fuck?
Cops can be bad people too?
Weird. Weird.
Yeah.
So you did how was the new information? I know you had a PP and then I had a PP. Everyone PP'd. But what was your favorite story in the last couple of months, like with the deep diving you're doing?
Favorite one was, this is obscure. I know everybody has that, like this expectation that I'm like the conspiracy theory guy or whatever, but I love just having a random ass question in my mind where going about daily life. And you're like,
no, I know where this is going.
Yeah, yeah. Like, why this? Why that? Like,
good questions.
Why, how come that? Blah, 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 blah.
I did that today. How does fiber optic work?
Oh, that's
something like that.
Still convinced that was brought to us by aliens.
Fiber optics?
I know how it works, and it still
the glass
destroys
tube,
my mind.
Glass tube blinky light.
I know. I was like, but how data?
I'm like, light get here.
That's what I know.
Why can't I watch Interstellar?
Dude, I will never be able to rebuild humanity.
Blinky glass tube light.
What?
It's the meme of traveling back in time, trying to explain electricity to medieval peasants, and you're like, yeah, no, but like fucking.
Look, I looked at this little brick and it had light on it, and I got depressed.
How it works, man.
Hard cut to a kite and this guy in a key. I think this is what he did.
This is what he,
I don't know how it tracks.
But so this like recurring theme that would always come up with like my boys back home that I've been friends with since we were in fucking 7th grade is I love Sprite. I love Sprite soda. And every time I would see an advertisement for Sprite, it was always targeted towards African Americans. It's all basketball themed. It was like LeBron James is their spokesperson for forever. Every time a commercial comes on, it's just always black people in Sprite commercials. And I'm like, that's weird. Like you see a Coke commercial and they do the same thing like Netflix does where it's like, oh, here's, a person of every race and, a transgender, they, them,
It's
whatever.
for everybody.
Yeah. But then every time I saw a Sprite commercial, it was like exclusively black people. And I'm like, why is Sprite like marketed exclusively to black people? And so I dove into that. And that was like a shockingly popular video. Apparently, a lot of people were interested in the answer to that question.
Bro, I'm asking that question. I'm like, man,
Because everybody knows.
I need you to continue because and
then I get a
this
new
matters
tangent.
to me at this point.
Yeah, because
So-
Because you're not wrong. He's not wrong. If you think back to just about any advertisement for Sprite.
Well, it started out like back in the 1960s. Well, before then. Like 1950s. This was like 2 months ago I made this video. So if the details are foggy, I apologize.
You can watch the actual video over at the King Trout YouTube or Pepperbox channel.
Or Pepperbox.
Crucify him. He's wrong.
But back in the like 1950s, there was this guy down here in Texas, and he made a group of sodas that he called Sprite, and it was just fruit flavored sodas, kind of similar to Fanta. But he brand named Sprite.
The origin story behind Fanta we'll get to another day.
Yeah, which I made a joke about that. Everybody's heard the fucking origin story. It was the Nazis and blah, 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 blah.
Wait till you hear about Volkswagen.
Yeah, similar story. Dude made Sprite.
I was just going to invent a random company to throw under the bus. Like, oh yeah, same with, Dasani or whatever the fuck.
You're going to hate to hear the story about Bayer.
As you get killed by Big Pharma just for the implication.
Here, now.
Zyklon A didn't work. Let's try something else out. So this guy made this brand of, God doesn't like that joke.
I was just about to make that joke and then it happened.
Multiple, like fruit-flavored sodas. Didn't really pan out. Coke wanted the brand name Sprite. For what reason? I don't know. They bought it, and then they had this lemon lime soda to compete with 7-Up, because 7-Up is independent. Same with Dr. Pepper. So there's Pepsi, there's Coke, and then there's also Dr. Pepper and 7-Up. A lot of people think Dr. Pepper and 7-Up are owned by either Pepsi or Coke, but they're their own fucking
I thought
thing.
Dr. Pepper was Pepsi, yeah.
Nope.
No, Dr. Pepper's the one I do know. That's just like
It's its own.
I didn't know that
it's its
about
own
7-Up.
animal.
it's doing its Texas thing.
I played a lot of their game growing up. The Heads Up 7-Up game.
Yes, I remember as well. You put your head down.
He looks
and you
really
get tapped.
confused.
Yeah, that...
We're not going to explain Heads Up 7-Up. You can watch that in my next video where I explain Heads Up 7-Up. Anyway.
That's related to the company?
No. It's a children's game.
I figured. I was just like,
it's
wait a
like-
minute, hold on. Are you dropping lore here?
No, it's like hide and seek, but when
Yeah.
you're sitting at a desk.
Oh, yeah, Brandon was homeschooled. Never mind, we're good.
Oh, fuck off.
I was going to say, people are going to shit on me because they're like, you never finish a story. I get interrupted all the time.
So how high was that stone wall?
Yeah, do that again with your arm, Mr. Congressman. I could end that career.
It's like Nacho Libre trying to keep the mask on.
So, Coke wanted 7-Up was coming up in the rankings, and Coke wanted competition, so they bought the name Sprite, and then they're selling essentially a 7-Up clone. It did okay. It's a very neutral soda, whatever. Long story short, it gets to this point where they own this brand. 7-Up's doing all right. Sprite is also doing all right, but they realize there's this untapped market of the urban youth, hip hop. So none of the big soda manufacturers are like targeting this market, and they're like, oh, well, we have this soda that's like underperforming. what if we made that like the black soda? Like this is the soda of hip hop culture, basketball, etc.
But so it's clear. Yeah. I guarantee that was one of the first marketing problems. I consider that fucking. That was the first thing somebody says.
Well,
it's the most like
I recuse myself.
It's the most AstroTurf shit, and I genuinely like I feel bad because of like how AstroTurfed it was, where they were just like they saw this untouched market of just like African American youth culture in the country, because this was the early 90s. Like rap is just becoming a thing. You got Biggie, Tupac, fucking
Snoop Dogg,
the Diddler, Snoop Dogg. Yeah, basketball is becoming more popular. This is like peak Jordan era, and they were like, "Ooh, how can we sell soda to the coloreds?" And they
probably got to blur that.
Why? That's what I think that's fine.
Probably what
that's
they
literally
said.
that message. This is a whole bunch of white people would just be like, the Mexicans, what do we do for them? Same thing.
They were co-opting like an ethnic culture. Yeah, I don't take that back. I don't take back what I said, because it was like genuinely they were just co-opting this culture that was, it was just African American urban culture at the time, especially in like New York City, Chicago, LA. And they were like, "Oh, we're going to exploit them to make money off of this fucking soda." And here we are 20 years later, and it worked.
Well, it just goes to show that if you have enough money behind something, you can pretty much AstroTurf any sort of cultural message into any people group, unless you're Kamala Harris.
Eli has his hand. Yes, sir.
Jaguar.
Oh,
I gotta watch, dude. That is one of my favorite stories. Now I was just watching how that one commercial just because
tanked,
Jaguar
dude.
was like, you know what? We're going to throw money at this. We're going to hire a media team. They're going to produce this amazing commercial.
well, I think there's a difference between targeting a specific demographic and
They
just
did.
having a bad idea.
But they target a specific demographic.
Might be a little too specific.
Well, we all know that transgenders do have a few $100,000 of loose cash floating around to buy a luxury British vehicle. Famously, the they-thems are in the market for Jaguars.
What's crazy?
Why are you slowly morphing into Sam Elliott?
Sam, I watch the sunset every day.
What's crazy is that individual that did come up with that, he handed it off to a marketing team, and then, but that is the dude that created the Land Rover, the Range Rover. Like, he had home runs under his belt. After that commercial, fast forward 5 months.
Did they just
he's fired.
pull him into a back room and hand him a sword?
Oh, dude, they fired. So he was fired. The CEO was fired. And the best thing is you had, is it June of 2024, they were averaging 1,950 vehicles sold a month. June 2025, guess the number.
What was the first number, sorry?
1,950.
A month?
Per month?
Yeah, per month.
I actually thought it'd be more than that.
Ooh, I'm going to go 825.
I'm going to go 500.
$1, Bob.
49.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, closest without going over.
49 is what they started averaging per month starting April, May. And they're like, huh.
Well, they neutered the brand.
Dude, and they thought they literally thought this was going to take off for them. They're like, oh, we got it. This is what we need to do. We'll do this. And then it is Elon's tweet. Don't y'all just sell cars?
Yeah.
Like, that was the worst
There was
tweet.
no car in that advertisement either.
Nope.
Because
Change.
my dream car is a Jag E-Type
love it.
1964. The car
Gorgeous.
literally looks like a penis.
But gorgeous
That's why
penis.
I love it. Yeah, that's why I love it.
Gorgeous
That's why I want to
penis.
suck that car off.
Yeah, same.
If I find you wrapped around the tailpipe of a Jaguar E-Type,
Put that grill in my mouth.
What did I get myself into?
Oh my
Welcome
god.
to Unsubscribe.
They gotta kill that brand, and they're still alive because of Land Rover. Is the only reason. Land Rover's doing great, and they're like, "What did you do to this fucking brand, homies?"
it's just like Bud Light. They're like, oh, yeah, no, our target demographic and the people who buy our beverage is frat boys and rednecks. Dylan Mulvaney's who we need.
It is
Pivoting to Shane Gillis was the smartest marketing move.
Yeah.
That's the only
Shane
way
Gillis
they
and
could
Post
have
Malone.
the only way
yeah.
they could have bounced back from that.
Dude, and it's wild that you get to see this, the hundreds of billions of dollars that are spent on it, on like a marketing campaign or a new identity. And you're like, but why?
It was
this is not, I don't think this, boss, because there's going to be a few. It's like, I told you that was a shit fucking idea, bro.
Well,
Like,
I'll counter, Eli. 2% of the population does identify as transgender. So,
well, like 49 cars.
You say
I don't even think it's that high.
2%?
oh no, it's like 0.2, but 2%'s gay.
Yeah. Because transgender way lower.
Probably 0.2.
It's impossible to calculate.
Yeah.
However, no, I just I don't understand. I don't understand that methodology. But now they're trying so hard to go the other direction. You've got Post Malone. You've got Shane Gillis. They're sponsoring UFC. Like they're going overly masculine now. They're like, see, we're not gay.
Would you say it's performatively masculine?
I don't know. They're not dry firing on their porch.
Well, I mean, look at Hollywood as an example. You can see how that's working out. But Jaguar, watching that today and then reading about it, I was like, bro, if my $1 billion company went down to 49 cars a month, I'd be terrified.
You're saying internationally they sold 49
the
cars?
entire Europe theater, all of Europe, 49 cars.
That's so few cars.
This is Europe. This is where Jaguar's home is.
I sold more T-shirts than that last January.
And that it was the biggest thing was like the advertising. We're doing this new brand shift. Then I did not know this. They had nothing in between. They're like, we're going through this new change and we're not going to sell you any old cars and you have to trust us for the new car. By the way, it's electric. It's going to be about 1.5 year gap. And then here's the advertisement.
So then they had to
Brandon,
ride it too.
Dear Lord.
Am I lying,
There's-
Brandon? Am I lying?
Their stock price high of this year was just shy of $34.
What was it last year?
That is insane.
Do you know what it is now?
What was it last year?
Oh, I'm looking at the high of this year was
Go 5 years.
Yeah,
Watch
what's
5
that
years.
peak?
5 years.
5 year.
Eli knows where dad is going to show.
I don't know if y'all have
It's like
ever,
700 grand.
if you've ever heard of the dragster,
700
the roller
grand?
coaster.
Yes,
Holy shit.
700 grand.
Doesn't
God.
it sound like I'm making this up?
Yes.
No, yeah, that graph
That's why
is
Brandon's like,
insane.
no one's going to sell 49. And you're like, no.
700 grand. The current stock price is $1.22.
Call that BRCC.
Cut that.
I ain't going to keep it.
Keep that.
Isn't that f***ing wild?
They went like all electric, did they not?
So the 52-week high was $33.25. So like just that little metric there.
Yeah.
$33.25. It is now trading at about $1.30.
They're also a wholly British company, so they're getting cucked by their government.
No,
'Cause
so
don't
Range
they-
Rover's, like Land Rover is now the main brand that's carrying everything. And they're doing fine. Like Land Rovers, they're breaking records, but that is their secondary company. And they're like,
Where are Land Rovers manufactured though?
yeah, they're in Europe.
But
Britain.
oh, really?
I believe so. They're an English country, so one of the
UK.
England. Let's find where it is. Where is a Jaguar?
Yeah, they're British. Like reasonably.
No, I know, but I think Land Rovers are manufactured elsewhere, and I think Jaguars are manufactured.
same. It's a parent company. Land Rover is the parenting company for Jaguar.
Oh, I thought they were manufactured like in
Yeah,
Britain.
no, they're
and
British
Land
too.
Rovers were
United-
manufactured
yeah.
elsewhere.
UK.
Manufacturing occurs globally, including the UK, but also Slovakia, Brazil, India, and China, depending on the model.
And dude, what sucks is that the marketing campaign they ran with was change or don't be. What was it? Do not be original, or be original. I think don't be original. Be everything. Just blend in. I think it was.
Well, they originally lost 97% of their stock value.
Well, they sourced that from the original owner and the creator of Jaguar. It was like, oh, this was one of his quotes. It said, "Be original," and they're like, we got this, bro.
Yeah, I'm sure that British World War I veteran wanted a bunch of fucking transgender they-thems to march and not show a fucking car in the advertisement.
I'm just imagining the bony fucking skeletal fist breaking out of the fucking...
Just like a trench knife in its hand, like smashing through.
Yeah. Dude, 1922 is when it was created. Dude, reading that shit, because it sounds unbelievable for a company that big to be like, nah, we're down to 49 now.
Poor guy survived Flanders Fields just to have this happen to his company.
Oh, man, that sucks.
You know an E-Type, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a hot fucking car.
Also, I permanently have a mental association now between those older model Jaguars and Mad Men.
Dude,
like the show?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Even the newer ones, I fucked with them. The E-Type, like, those are gorgeous.
The
vehicles.
F-Pace. The F-Pace. I sat in one of those. I was getting schmoozed for a defense contractor gig, and they absolutely did like that. If you join our team, you'll get to ride in this. So I rode in one of those, and I've always wanted an F-Pace after that. But
I was talking to somebody the other day that...
if you wondered why this one fell, that was the 2026 model that they were trying to sell to people.
I can't see that far.
And he's shaking his phone, too. Look.
Oh, fuck off. The Chrysler 300?
That looks like a cyberpunk mod. Just like a vehicle you'd see on the road.
It looks like my PlayStation rendered.
Well, when you talk about that,
the PlayStation render of the Chrysler 300, it smells like PS2 rendered weed smoke.
Like oh my, Connor, like next to a human, it looks fake.
Oh my God. Yeah, it looks like a fake car.
Yeah, somebody made that on PlayStation.
And now they're suffering
like
from
Crash Bandicoot PlayStation.
But when you were talking about like the schmoozing of government contracts and shit like that, there was somebody that I was talking about about that exact thing earlier, where they're like, you'd be surprised when it comes to like working with Congress how much like Air Force and people like that will just be like, but I'll take you on a ride on an F-16.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they get more funding. It's like, you really hope these people aren't that dumb and gullible, but sure enough.
What's been super revealing on that for me has been the last couple years. So I mean, like I mentioned earlier, I wear a lot of different hats. I have quite literally 5 different jobs. Like I have to, taxes are, please don't get me started on taxes, but
I assure you, we have the worst time.
I don't even want to imagine. If I know how frustrating my life is, I don't even want to imagine what your life is like when it comes to taxes. But
all the money that we have to change. Oh, my steak too juicy, my lobster too buttery. I know.
But what's been the most revealing has been the last year and a half or so working in like the gun rights space on just how much.
Thank you for everything you've done in that
dude,
regard as well.
Bro, I solely work in the gun rights space for very selfish reasons, and it's because I want to better understand what the landscape is like. So, I mentioned growing up shooting, being a part of my high school's marksmanship team. I mentioned that to, who was here earlier? What was the guy's name that was here earlier?
Finn.
I mentioned that to Finn. I was like, hey, dude, we were just chatting, and I was like, yeah, I was part of my high school's marksmanship team. That's why I am trying to stand up American marksman now. And he was like, what's that? And I was like, what you just said is exactly what I'm trying to do. So about a year...
But before we go too far off the rails, we were talking about the government contract.
Yeah, no, I'm getting there. So the problem that I've run into over the years is just not truly understanding how our political structure works. And I still cannot say that I truly understand it. But when it comes to like gun rights... and what those mean to us is a core foundational right that we have that regardless of what the Constitution says, which is ultimately just there to affirm that, right? It's a limiter more than it is a grantor.
Yeah, it guarantees you your rights. It does not grant you your rights.
Right. So I have come to find out just how much of that bullshit happens, right? I already had some level of understanding. I mean, I've had to brief Congress and staffers on like national security topics before, and things like your contract have come up before. I'm like, why the fuck does that matter to me? I am a cybersecurity expert here to tell you what's happening, and you're telling me about my contract. Like, that's not my scope. Like, my left and right limits on my fire lane right now do not include the contract or agreement that you might have with my CEO of my company. But the amount of schmoozing that does, generally speaking, take place is fascinating to me. I will say that there's a lot that I didn't understand in the gun rights space before I started working in it, that I didn't truly understand what lobbying meant. I thought it was like paying people off. You know what I mean? But that's not it, especially not with like...
It's not always it.
Not always it, for sure. I can understand that. I'm the industry guy, first and foremost, at National Association for Gun Rights. So my job is like kind of connecting the industry with the gun rights space. So we've got a bunch of industry, gun manufacturers that are supporting us in cases. So I help coordinate their data that helps us try and improve common use, things like that. So there are actually some gun rights organizations that people think they have an understanding of where they stand that might not necessarily. I don't want to speak too far into that, but
I will actually say on that note, there's a lot of gun companies that are very gay when it comes to stuff like that have really worked against gun rights on a lot of shit that they really shouldn't have.
It's a two-way street, man.
But there are a lot that have stepped up.
Yeah.
I will give
a lot that have a history of not stepping up that are like, yeah, you're right. It's time for us to step up and understand what our real market is.
And with those being active cases, I'm not sure if that's something I'm allowed to talk about.
Well, so the one that I'm referencing right now is an active case that we have, like, that we are actively it's.
I want to give kudos where it's due, but I don't know if we can.
Right.
If is that public information?
It's tough, dude.
Okay, then no, I won't.
I will say that information will come out.
We were talking about this before the podcast, but the individual that was pulled over.
Oh, yeah.
It was a representative. So it was a congressperson, 25th district. So that was the one. I was having a discussion. We were always discussion. It's like a lot of people don't realize 2A is extremely important to all of us. And if something bad happens to anyone, it is like, yo, what the fuck happened?
Dude,
isn't that wild, Brent?
I'm looking it up to see if that's
well, I mean, while
if he's state or federal.
While he's doing that, just to close the thought, there are so many
state
cases.
Rep, that's why I don't know.
There are so many cases across the United States that are actively being pursued by a lot of gun rights organizations that aren't the NRA right now. I'll leave it at that. But there are an innumerable amount of them, and ultimately, what I chose to do is kind of it's literally work for one, so I could better understand what that looks like. Because I became a member of the NRA back when I was like, I don't know, 19, 20, something like that. Like, it's always mattered very much to me. We ran around in the woods with a 22 when I was 12. I'm not saying that's the best thing that you can do, but I've just firearms have been aligned with my life since I can remember. So seeing the general erosion of that over time, I was like, well, I need to better understand what the landscape is because I don't understand it. So
I mean, some of my fondest memories growing up is like being a teenager running around in the woods with my buddies, with a 12 gauge shotgun or like a little like 22 AR or something like that. Yeah. And like that's something that there are a shocking percentage of people in this country that want to do away with that. And not to be too juvenile about it, but it hurts my fucking feelings.
The first living thing I ever shot was a squirrel, and I ate it.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. Just first of all, my mom didn't know how to cook it. So she just pan-seared its hind legs. Oh. And I took a bite out of it. I was like, can I have chicken nuggets? I don't like this. But no, I chose I need to better understand that landscape, right? This is like, what does it mean to fight for gun rights? And there were so many misconceptions that I had about the gun rights space. There are a lot of differences and similarities, kind of both ends of the sword between the different gun rights organizations that are out there. There are employees that are shared between them, but they do have different means that they choose to go about doing things. Generally speaking, most of them that aren't the NRA, to a certain perspective at least, are working towards the same end state. They just have a different design with exactly how they want to achieve that.
And I understand the differences between them, and I feel like we're talking around a lot of things right now for the general audience, but I understand how they want to go about things. I just wish that there would be more collaboration
for sure
between them, because there's certain times where, and correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like everything's a quest for donations, which I understand. Donations are what makes these
perpetual fundraising,
very expensive legal battles happen.
Oh my God, dude.
But my biggest issue is that they're all pushing for the same thing, the same court battles, the same things to happen, but they're all rushing to be the first to file. They're rushing to be the first person to file a lawsuit, whether that's the best lawsuit we could have had for this case or not. They're trying to be first because if they get the one that's first to file, then they get to use that in all their fundraising emails.
Because
and I understand the incentive behind it, but it's not good for us.
I get it. That's quite literally one of the reasons that I chose to just work for one, at least for 5, 6, 7 years, however long it is that I'm here. I picked one specifically and purposefully, and that is, like I mentioned, NAGR, and that's largely because they were just my friends. They took me out on my first long range expedition. I learned how to run a Kestrel with them. I learned how to hit it a mile with them.
I've worked with those guys for years.
They're shooters, right?
Yeah.
So that mattered very much to me. It didn't feel like they were sitting in their high tower in a leather chair saying, we're doing right for gun rights. It was like they shoot. So
Wayne LaPierre.
Excuse me. There's a reason. He said it out loud, and I just inferred it. That's exactly what I was inferring is Wayne LaPierre. That's the vision in my head until I chose to work for one that I had when it came to gun rights organizations.
You mean that when I try to donate to a gun rights organization or when I try to do good work for them, I don't want it to all immediately go in the pockets of a guy who's using fundraiser money to pay for $10,000 suits and his mistress in New York City?
Sorry, I just know some of the companies and then different orgs and how they've done good stuff, but also bad stuff. Like NRA, you can have both sides of the coin on that one where they've fucked up royally. So like, how is that?
Yeah, and there's a lot of good stuff that the NRA's done over the year. I'm still a life member of the NRA, but I'm disappointed because of people like Wayne LaPierre, who thankfully is gone from the organization.
Yeah.
And I really hope they can turn over this new leaf that they're trying to do. But man, there's a lot to overcome there.
I think that's the biggest thing is addressing it. A lot of companies, it's like, oh, sweep it out. Like he's gone. Look, we're going to do new, but it is, hey, here we.
There are misses that end up happening. So even in the pursuit of doing the best thing possible, it turns out that the foresight just wasn't there, and it turns out to be just something that didn't work out in the best possible favor, right? So you look back at like the NFA changes that we've got that are about to take place on January 1st. The best ideal outcome is that things were just removed entirely. But now what we have is, we no longer have to pay a $200 fee, but I'm still registering something on a basis that doesn't make any sense because the entire basis around it in the first place was the tax.
And specifically because the Supreme Court in 1937 deemed it constitutional, only the NFA, with like the registration, $200 registration, tax stamp and everything behind suppressors, short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns, and machine guns. The only reason they allowed that to be constitutional was because it wasn't a registration of the weapons. It was the registration that you paid the tax, because Congress has the constitutional authority to levy tax, not register weapons, register the tax. And now that you've removed the tax, it should be unconstitutional.
Presumably, if by definition the purpose was solely for that, to be able to say, hey, yes, this person has paid the necessary tax for this, and then you remove that tax, suddenly you have no other reason to have the registration associated with it whatsoever. So that it's in the most vulnerable position that it's ever been, and there aren't many years left between now and the next cycle where we really have to pay. Where there's an opportunity now that is probably first of its kind, at least in my generation, to enact permanent change. Permanent change is one of those things that is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, in my opinion. And I won't claim to be the most astute when it comes to legalities, politics. Again, I'm the industry guy, and I know firearms, I know ballistics, I know, like, yes, this is a good gun. Yes, this is one that we should probably give away because people are going to enjoy this firearm. We're giving away a scar. The scar is either beloved or hated.
I love it. I'm a scar apologist.
I think it's a piece of junk. I'm just being honest with you.
You're probably correct, but it's got such a soft spot in my heart.
That's only because it's too expensive for me to own. Let me just put it that way.
Oh, so you're just coping? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, opinion disregarded. But
I did get myself like a dream gun recently, which is a Barrett MRAD though.
Yes. Which we were talking about that earlier.
The MRAD it was an investment because that allows me to like just change barrels and calibers whenever I need to. So if I'm going out on some long range thing and I want to shoot 6.5 Creedmoor, I throw in the Creedmoor barrel. If I want 300 Norma, throw in a 300 Norma barrel, 338 Lapua, 7 PRC, just anything I want. And I don't have to have a new gun every time. A lot of people associate that with like the Mark 22, which is the new ASR, Advanced Sniper Rifle, or PSR system, Precision Sniper Rifle for the military. But the Mark 22 is actually a different production line and has differences from the civilian MRAD. The civilian MRAD...
It's like a military Humvee versus an H1.
Yes, certainly. With way fewer differences. You know, it's obviously
How fast
still...
is the barrel swap? I have the... Brandon, what's the bolt? The Desert Tech
MDR.
Covert. I have the Covert.
The barrel swap actually is on Pepperbox. You can go and watch that. I did a vlog of my first day out with the MRAD. It takes no more than a minute, to be honest with you.
I was wondering.
That's pretty
about that.
fast.
What's funny is like I was still learning the system. The entire premise around American Marksman isn't that I'm the best shooter in the world. It's that I'm trying to figure out how good I can be. So I
love that approach to content where it's everybody feels like they have to be a fucking expert in something to make content. Like, dude, all you have to do is be somewhat either charismatic or entertaining or whatever, and just learn along with the audience.
I don't know.
Just literally learn it. That's all you have to do, and you can show.
Because that's most of what your audience wants to do too.
Yeah, because then it shows. Oh, I can do this too, as long as it takes this much time. Or this dude did this in this much time. I can do that.
Everybody wants to be hot shit with the biggest dick, and I can fucking change this barrel out in 2 seconds.
Well, where that gets really
brag.
interesting is it's actually, I use this term a lot, but I think it applies here. It's a double-edged sword, and that's that humility around your content, right? So there's a difference between confidence and hubris, but we have this, or confidence and arrogance. We have this habit of forced humility as well, right? You'll see it online all the time. Like, wow, I'm a retard. You know, it's like you're
self-deprecating.
Yeah, but what the path that leads that down is, you know, as an eventuality, you know, self-hate. You know, like maybe I actually am an idiot. Maybe that's just me. I'm just being transparent here. There's a way to be confident in the things that you're good at, and also knowing the limitations of what you aren't, or knowing what you can do versus what you can't. I am confident in what I can do, which anything inside of a mile, I'm on it in 2 rounds or less. If we are inside of a mile, 2 rounds or less, I'm putting rounds on that. Right? Mm-hmm. That's my confidence level. When we start to get outside of that, is the differences between like extreme long range and long range. And extreme long range is when it goes past the math and into the art, where you start to talk about transonic and the changes that are necessary to use, like Doppler radar, measured curves on things. That's a discipline that only time is something that I can truly understand.
There's also the difference between knowing your particular proficiencies and understanding that you're still God's silliest warrior.
I love that.
You can just be...
Oh, for sure.
You can,
it took me a second to process that, but yeah.
You cannot take things so seriously, you know? I'm not saying that you do. I'm just saying in general. Like,
get that entirely. So again, earlier I mentioned nobody knows that I'm an idiot more than me, right?
Yeah.
But I do also know that nobody will be my biggest advocate more than me, right? And if I am not ready to advocate for myself, then who should I expect to do that?
I experience that in the comment section all the time, and it's funny how like your mindset shifts, because I am very bad, and my friends know this. I'm very bad at taking compliments.
Yeah.
Or if anybody tries to advocate for me, like, oh, he's this, he's that, I immediately am like, ugh. I'm so uncomfy. Like, you guys don't understand. I'm a retard. And then all of a sudden, if somebody's like, this guy doesn't have the qualifications to talk about X, suddenly I remember every accomplishment and everything I know about that topic. I'm like, wait, well, hold on.
Pause, motherfucker.
It completely depends on how it's approached, you know?
No, I mean, shifting all the way back, gun rights is complex because you've got legislative changes. So you've got political lobbying that does need to take place. It is a large part of it, political change. But then you've also got courts, being in the courts. And what I liked was this was an organization that did both. Right, so they've got the National Foundation for Gun Rights, the National Association for Gun Rights, two different organizations, still generally under the same structure. Not unlike GOA, right? Very similar. They've got their foundation.
Two great groups, for the record.
Interestingly enough, one of the guys on the team that I work with is a former GOA employee. The guy that used to hold the job that I fill there, it's a little bit different in its duties. We've reshaped that to, for my skill set. He now works for another organization. So I mentioned earlier that it's, they have their different approaches when it comes to achieving an end state, but they are all, at least the ones that I frequent with most of the time, they all have the same desired end state. And that is that gun laws themselves are fundamentally infringements. That is, by definition, what they are. An infringement, in its definition, is a barrier or an impediment. And that's not how it's supposed to work, right? So it's just the approach that they take. They choose to be a little bit different on the way there, and just needed to better understand what that looked like, because it's mattered my entire life. And seeing the conversation with Finn, like I mentioned, what is a marksmanship team in high school? It's like, well,
the fact that you don't know is why I need to be a part of it. So when we stood up American Marksman, it was, okay, so how can we, after having the experience on the television show, there's a whole nother story about that in about 6 more months, once a contract runs out and I'm allowed to speak about it, maybe I will. So what you're saying is we booked you 6 months too early.
Told you the TV stuff was fun.
I don't... You were extremely helpful, and the amount of foresight that you had into what I ran into is...
we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
It blew my mind, because if you recall, one of the first conversations we had was 3-4 years ago. I was like, dude, I got this TV show. It's going to be amazing. This is going to be it. I grew up watching Mail Call. It's going to be on the same channel. It's going to be awesome. And you were like... Just give me a second, dog. Let me help you understand my experience. Yours might be different, but here was my experience. And here's dumb Ronnie with the not truly understanding the difference between confidence and arrogance. And I was like, I got this. I'm good. And I'll tell you what, bud. Every word.
Why would they ever fuck me over? That would not. Humans don't do that. And you're like,
not saying that. Not.
Why would this multi-million-dollar corporation hurt my feelies?
It's almost like there's a certain clause that prevents you from doing any sort of disparagement.
I always warn people for anything like that. Like,
I hope that there's like a nice zoom in slow.
Because you're expecting the best. You're putting your best foot forward, and you're expecting them to do the same thing, and all the promises and everything that's going to happen, and you're like, dope.
That was such a sick experience, though, right? Like you grow up. I grew up in like a trailer, and that was one of the few channels that we got, and I watched that. I watched that in Dragon Ball Z. That was it. Yep. That's what I watched coming home. It was the History Channel and Dragon Ball Z. So getting that phone call saying, "Hey, we found one of your videos on the history of pirate cannons because the Free Syrian Army was using a fucking pirate cannon." So I did a video,
which was rad. I know exactly what video you're talking about. It's cool as shit.
So that's one of the best videos I've ever done. And I was actually arguing with Josh Brooks. I mentioned his name earlier because he made a joke. He was like, Ronnie, not all cannonballs. Well, he said all cannonballs didn't explode. And I was like, well, I'm going to make a video now because you had all different kinds of shot. You had round shot. You had
canister,
spherical shot. Then you started to get into shrapnel, which was a dude, right? He was a British officer, if I remember correctly. So shrapnel was a guy. People think that like fragmentation it's colloquially colloquially called shrapnel, but it's actually frag, and you have primary frag versus secondary frag. So primary frag is like you have a hand grenade and all of its perforations on it. That's primary frag. It's designed to come off of the hand grenade and just do bad things. Then you have secondary frag. Secondary
The
frag.
femur of the dude in front of you.
Exactly. Yeah. Bone, rock, wood, just shit that gets thrown by that. That's secondary frag. So lost my train of thought, but the History Channel show was an experience in and of its own. Growing up and watching that and watching Ermi on Mail Call, he fell into that role just like he fell into Full Metal Jacket, and he fucking killed both of them.
I remember playing hooky from school, watching Arlie Ermi,
dude,
like just ripping Hitler's buzzsaw like that.
I still do,
dude.
I still do like my live. So I host a live gaming stream Tuesdays and Fridays, and it's solely for the purposes of raising money to buy custom gaming PCs and send those out to veterans. We've done about 70 grand worth of those since I started.
Fuck yeah, man.
But the ending of every night is, it says, "Good night, ladies. Good night, sir." And it's from Full Metal Jacket. Ermi is like a hero of mine, dude. Seriously. So getting that phone call for this video I did on pirate cannons, they basically said, "Hey, will you come and do that for us? That video that you made, will you come and help us do that?" And it was originally supposed to be called Battle Vision. And that is a fantastic name. Give me a second, trust me. The design around it was, let's use actual historical footage. So you can see the connect with Funker 530 already. Let's use historical footage. Let's use historical images and tie these things to time and space, history, for people to understand battle, for people to help contextualize war. It was bringing history back to history. And brother,
I'm thinking like the old school 3D graphics where you like battlefield from the top.
Yes, I was on board with it so fast. Initially, I was supposed to be an not expert witness. Excuse me, thinking about a different career path ahead. I was supposed to be an expert. So Cappy was involved as an expert. Preston Stewart. So Nick Irving was an expert on the show. We had a ton of expertise. Well, I got a call one day and they said, "Hey, will you be will you actually host it?" And I was like, what do you mean host it? And they were like, "Yeah, well, our other hosts kind of fell through." I was at the bottom of this list, bro. Like, I mean, I was in the nosebleeds of the list of the hosts, but I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude, let's do it." And they're like, "We need you to do what's the term? I'm
sizzle
sorry.
Reel.
No, it wasn't a sizzle reel. It was
audition.
It was an audition, but with Rudy, right? So the co-host with me, Rudy Reyes, Generation Kill, the finest looking human being that I've ever seen in my life, and the one man that under most circumstances men would absolutely list as their one time they would.
I love how you say, like, yeah, Rudy, from Generation Kill. I'm like, also the thing Generation Kill was based on. There was also that.
Well, that's such a huge part of it too. So you have like Ermi, then you have Rudy. They played themselves basically, right? So Rudy played himself in Generation Kill, and that's
which is super cool,
fascinating. Ermi was there as, if I recall correctly, on like Full Metal Jacket, was there as just like a consultant.
Yep.
And he just lit. If I recall the story correctly, just like lit into somebody one day, and they were like, "Hey, will you do that on camera for a second?"
It was Oliver Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was
who's the one who did
Stanley Kubrick.
Thank you. Yeah.
And so he was hired as like a technical advisor, and then he was like lighting up the guy who was supposed to play the role of the
Chung Hao's done.
Yeah, he was
drill sergeant.
Drill sergeant, thank you. He's explaining to the drill sergeant like, "No, here's how you do it. You blah 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 blah." But he came with the intention of taking that role.
A lot of you millennials will remember him from the Geico commercials.
He literally went in to take the role, which is hilarious. He's like, I'll just show this dude up. And then Stanley watched him yell at that dude. And then he's like, "No, you have to do it like this," and went down and started yelling at people. And being a drill instructor, which he was done. And he was like,
it's like Rich 5-10 years from now.
"That guy is, we need that one.
Take the job."
Yeah. And then after that,
A movie I've definitely seen.
Have you not?
I've never seen that.
Chemistry test.
Oh, watch the first half of the movie.
I mean, how old is that? Now that I think about it,
You've never seen Full Metal Jacket?
No, I don't give a shit about it.
70s
Yeah,
or
no,
80s?
fair enough. You care what you care about. I
Came out
don't.
in like the 80s.
Because you look
Like
at like
88?
I didn't realize I think we were talking about 2001: Space Odyssey came out before we landed on the moon, which is fucking wild. And I was like, yeah, that's why a majority have never seen that movie.
That's why they.
That's what
69.
fueled a lot of theories.
Fuck, I'm not having that conversation. No, I'm just. I was just venting to Brandon about this when I drove him to the airport earlier. But no, I'm not having that conversation about
Can we do it
Stanley
on after
Kubrick.
Show? Can we do it
Sure.
on after show?
Should probably transition there anyway.
I like it.
How long?
Not like Jaguar, but you know.
How long have we been
Yeah,
going
we're
for?
cooking. Yeah, we're good.
Oh my goodness! Is that what that says? Is that how long? we've been-
14 minutes.
Yeah. It's been 14 whole minutes we've been talking.
You ready for another 2 hours, buddy?
I could do this all day. No, I can't.
I can't.
I got to pee again.
All right. Well, what does he say?
Thank you for watching
Yeah,
the
there it is.
Unsubscribe
Thank you.
podcast. Yeah, you go for it.
Thank you for watching the Unsubscribed podcast. As always, I've been joined by Eli Doubletap, Mr. Ronnie Adkins, future Congressman Brandon Herrera, and myself, Donut Operator. Ronnie, where can we find you?
Well, that's a loaded question. There's a lot of places, but right now the best place to find us is going to be American Marksman. Just about any social, you'll find us on that, and as well as Pepperbox, primarily Pepperbox. All of our exclusive content, most specifically.
And then, Donut, where do we find you?
As Donut Operator, you can find me on YouTube. If you search King Trout, that's where you can find me.
And on Pepperbox.
and on Pepperbox, where I swear I say words such as piss, shit, fat.
I hope it cuts right.
Make
Just
it Cody
right
the
there,
Canadian. As you can find me.
Fucking South Park.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, perfect.
Thank you, guys.
Love you, bitches.